Get Nasty on a Thursday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202 Your Time Check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Welcome everybody in. Appreciate you listening. Air Comfort Service tax line 314-399-9646. That's one of the ways that you can get a hold of us. You can also check us out via the Airlines Team Studio Cams and our YouTube channel, otherwise known as the Snake Pit. Leave us a Schaefer Door Company. Leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the 101 ESPN app. That's the Dobbs Tire Notice on the 101 ESPN app. Anything we're talking about today, you want to chime in? Fantastic. Leave us a mic drop. So, Alex Bregman is now a Boston Red Sox.
Oh, no.
Yeah, signed a deal last night with the Red Sox, so they're set now. They're all set at third base. That was the last team that I thought would make sense for Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado is going to be a Cardinal. I don't know if he's going to be a Cardinal for the final 3 years of his deal. I don't know if he's going to be a Cardinal for the entire season, or if he's going to be a Cardinal just until the trade deadline. But Nolan Arenado is going to be a Cardinal. I think this is what happens when, one, you don't have the leverage you thought you did. Two, the leverage you did have was completely nixed because Nolan Arenado decided to not waive his no-trade clause to go to Houston. It was a smaller market. I don't understand why Mo and the Cardinals continue to say, like, hey, this is still a priority. He wouldn't mind being moved. We'll move him. We're gonna try to get this done. He's going to be a Cardinal. They're probably better off not saying a damn thing about what their intentions were this offseason. The Astro news was going to come out anyways, but they could have easily addressed that in spring training and said, yeah, we had conversations, but for now he's a Cardinal and we're happy for it. That's it. But now you get this weird situation where Nolan Arenado is going to show up to camp. He's a pro. It's going to be fine. I don't think it's going to ruin the clubhouse or anything like that. But from a game plan situation, as in what is the game plan for the offseason, I really don't know what the deal was with the Cardinals and Arenado. I don't know what plan A was. I don't know if they even had a plan B. But we know now that he's going to be with the Cardinals for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's part of the game. It's part of business. It's part of professional sports. You try to make moves. Things don't happen. And, there are now really no other options that we know of. I mean, we don't know everything, but what has been reported, we don't know if there are. But it seems as though there are no other options for him. So, the Cardinals are going to have a 10-time Gold Glove. Now, if I told you, Anthony, the Cardinals just got a 10-time Gold Glove winner who finished third, was it second or third, in MVP voting a few years ago. How excited are you? You're thrilled.
I would.
You're thrilled.
I would say, man, I'm intrigued.
There you go. You're thrilled.
What did he do last year?
Gold Glove finalist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Offensively, kept up the same numbers?
Not so much. Power kind of. It's a big ballpark, and it's a pitcher's park. So
sure.
Here in St. Louis, it's built for pitchers. It's a little more difficult to be
How
that
old is
kinda,
this?
He's about 33.
Yeah.
But he's won 10 Gold Gloves, and he's your starting third baseman. Are you excited? Sure you are. You're damn right you are.
I'm not going to be blind. I'm not going to be blindly.
You're damn right you're excited, Anthony.
Excited.
You are. You got defense at the hot corner.
Yeah.
What's going on? You're excited. You're happy.
Okay.
So, Cardinal fans, be happy, man. You got Nolan Arenado. You said we need stars. The Blues need stars, right? The Cardinals got their star. They didn't have to make a trade. Didn't have to go out in free agency.
What are you doing
anything.
What are you doing right now?
I'm trying to turn this into a positive.
Trying to spin this?
Turn oh no into oh yes. BlueChew.com.
Sounds like Carey transitioned into a commercial there.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. It's part of the game. You were unable to trade him. We had the reports that obviously the Houston trade was in place. We had reports that the Yankees may have been offering something where the Cardinals turned that down. So both sides, it seems, turned down an opportunity, and now you're waiting for the Boston Red Sox, and then they go in a different direction. They pivot and go in a different direction and get the third baseman that they wanted the entire time. So, I mean, if the Cardinals never came out, like you said, if they never came out and said priority number 1, 2, and 3 is trading Nolan Arenado this offseason, would this even be a big story? Would we
It'd be a story, but it wouldn't we wouldn't be confused.
Well, you could say the same thing about Ryan Helsley, but they didn't come out and say that's priority 1, 2, or 3. Nobody said anything about Ryan Helsley being on in Jupiter, Florida. No one's complained about that or wondered where is he going to fit, what's going on. He's going to close games when you have the lead. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
Nolan Arenado, what's going on? He's going to play third base. He's going to bat somewhere in the lineup, 3rd, 4th, 5th, maybe 6th, and he's going to play every day. And that's what it is.
Here's the thing, though, Carey. If you're the Cardinals and you really wanted to deal Nolan Arenado, why wouldn't you back off of your contract, your willingness to absorb the money? Because they weren't willing to absorb the money. So they were kind of interested in trading Nolan Arenado. They were kind of prioritizing Nolan Arenado. Now, whether or not he's a Cardinal or not, I don't. For me, it's not like it's personal. I don't care. But if you're going in the offseason telling your fan base that this is going to be a year of drafting, developing, the new focal point, in fact, is dumping the resources and investing into your minor league system and all that. Great. Fantastic. Okay, here's an approach. We also are prioritizing trading Nolan Arenado. Interesting. Okay, let's talk about this. Yet all the reports are the Cardinals are not willing to eat the majority of the contract in order to move Arenado. Okay, so you're not really interested. It's kind of like work. I want to work out. I need to work out. Great. What's the game plan? I don't know. I'll wake up in the morning. I'll figure it out. Okay. No, you're not really interested.
Yeah, go to the gym.
Because if you're really interested, you'd have the game plan. You know what you're going to do. You have your maybe if you're working out at home, the weights are all out. You got the outfit ready to go. The water's ready. Like, you're invested in it. So it seemed like both sides approached the offseason and a potential trade as, if it happens, it happens.
Well, I think the Cardinals were stubborn in this mindset because, as you said, is it about? And again, I give Jamie credit because he said this the entire time. Is it about actually opening up spots for the younger players and having a true youth movement, or is it about dumping salary?
Right, that was a byproduct.
And so the when you're looking at it now, hindsight being 2020, it's about dumping salary. They were unable. But the I guess the insane part for me is you're going to pay the whole salary now rather than a portion. Like, you're that stubborn. We won't trade him if you don't take this amount. Oh, okay, cool. Pay the whole thing then.
Right.
Rather than you paying $40 million for the next 3 years, which is what it's looking like. Now you're going to pay $64 million.
Right.
Like, you could have saved yourself $24 million and opened up a roster spot, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't good enough. Like, it's either all or nothing, and so now you got nothing. You got a third baseman who's going to be who is under contract for the next 3 years and making $64 million, if I'm not mistaken, and he's going to be on your roster. And you probably, unless, and here's the issue that you run into. Let's say Nolan Arenado has a standout year. Let's say he bounces back and has the season he had in 22. The Cardinals are right there on the cusp of making the playoffs, finishing first or second in the division. You gonna trade him now?
No, he's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what is the ultimate goal? What were you doing? Because if he's playing well and you stink, maybe you could trade him. Maybe that's what you're going for. But if all things are going well, he's playing well, team is doing well, he's really going to be here.
Sure.
So, sometimes you fall into things, sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes you're unable to get the deals done, sometimes stubbornness stands in the way of those things.
Right.
And, I think both sides are going to have to put it to the side and just play baseball.
Yeah, I mean, Carey, you're a former professional athlete. I've observed, how sports, how teams operate when it comes to trades. I realize some things fall through. I get that. The Cardinals had to deal with Houston. It fell through. All right, fine. But you had to have known that the Red Sox were not going to have the same price on Arenado as the Astros.
Right.
So whatever the price was on Arenado, the Cardinals are like, not worth it. Okay. Well, what would have been worth it to you if Arenado, let's say Arenado was a $7 million player to the Red Sox. You owe him $63 million. They've got him at, $21 million because he's got 3 years left. 7 times 3, doing the rough math on that. Thank you. Okay,
you
$7 million.
42.
At this $7 million range, we're absorbing this amount. We want these prospects.
Yeah.
Now, maybe those discussions did happen. I don't know. But when you're reading Jeff Passan's piece yesterday, and he's using the term confounded, Major League Baseball execs are confounded by the approach and what the actual direction is of the Cardinals. I don't know. Kind of leaves you frustrated and asking what really was the game plan going into the offseason. Nonetheless, Alex Bregman is a Red Sox, so the last big free agent is now off the market. I saw that Nick Pivetta also signed a deal with the San Diego Padres. I'm surprised the Dodgers didn't
$55 million.
get in on that.
They got enough guys.
He could have been the eighth man in the rotation.
Possibly.
Yeah. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Oli Marmol was on with TMA today. What a great job by TMA. All week long, they've provided us content here on 101 ESPN, whether it's the podcast or us here in the Fastlane or BK and Ferrario. So tremendous job. Hat tip to Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne for, seeking out these players, these managers, the execs, and having these conversations. And we're able to use the audio back here at home. So great stuff by TMA. But does the lack of development for the Cardinals youth movement, does it more revolve around pitching? Oli made some interesting points on this. We'll get to those next on 101 ESPN. If you got a young family and you're always looking for fun events to go to, why don't you try the Arch Madness Tournament? It's coming March 6th through the 9th. It's right there at Enterprise Center, just as it always has been. It's a lot of fun. The games are usually exciting. A lot of the times the games are tight because they know that it's a winner or die situation, winner go home situation. And the Arch Madness Tournament, it's always one of the best tournaments and best sporting events that we have here in St. Louis. It's coming to Enterprise Center March 6th through the 9th. They've got 6 different sessions, and they've got their family fun pack going on right now where they're offering for $104, 4 single session tickets, 4 large sodas, and 4 regular popcorns. So if you want to take the family to a sporting event that is fun and family oriented, and you want to make sure that everybody, from the kiddos to you and your significant other, have a great time and enjoy a great sporting event in St. Louis. Again, check out the Arch Madness, the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, March 6th through the 9th. And don't forget about that family fun pack, that $104, the 4 single session tickets, the 4 large sodas, and the 4 regular popcorns. Arch Madness. Go check it out March 6th through the 9th. Guys at down in Jupiter for the morning after done a fantastic job this week chatting with various members of the Cardinals organization, from players to John Mozeliak to Oli Marmol. And all week you can check out the morning after, broadcasting live from Cardinals spring training in Jupiter, Florida. Don't miss TMA Live from Roger Dean all week long, brought to you by CarStar, your auto body repair experts, and by Sumner One, print and business technology solutions that keep your workplace humming. With Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh and Anthony Stalter, Oli Marmol was on with the guys this morning, and one of the things that he was asked was about perhaps why there has been a lack of development for young players in the Cardinals organization. This was Oli's response.
It's not a lack of development. When you look at, let's start at the catching position for us. You have Herrera and Pages, homegrown. You have Burleson, who's going to play some first, and DH, homegrown. You have Gorman and Donovan. You have Wynn. You have Newbar. You have Walker. You have Victor. Those are all homegrown dudes, right? So you can't say we lack in development. Now you can take a couple hits is on the pitching side, and that's fair. And we'll wear that. I think we should. We need to do a better job of not only catching up to the industry, but leading in that part of what we've done well in the past.
I think that's fair. When you look at the current players, the current position players that were homegrown players or are homegrown players, you're talking about Brendan Donovan, you're talking about Mason Wynn, Newt Barr, the two center fielders, whether it's Victor Scott or Ciani. And I don't think Ciani was drafted by the Cardinals, but he's essentially a homegrown player. Mm-hmm. You've got Jordan Walker, Gorman, your two catchers, Pages and Herrera, and the guy that they dealt at the deadline last year in order to get some pitching help was Tommy Edman, who was a homegrown player. Am I missing anybody? Donovan, Wynn, Newbar, Scott, Walker, Gorman, Pages, Herrera.
Burleson,
thank you. Burleson, also homegrown. He's right. If you go to the pitching side, you're talking about Gray, free agent, Michaelis, free agent, Matz, free agent. Palante was homegrown. Fetty, trade. Injuries have been an issue for the Cardinals when it comes to pitching. Flaherty, hurt. Alex Reyes, hurt. I would throw Walker into that mix. Eventually, his injury situation led to them just saying, you know what, we've got to move on. And Walker has done a really nice job. He's carved out a good career for himself. He's bounced around a little bit, but he's had a nice career. But injuries for those players certainly caused problems. Carlos Martinez, bit of a head case, but he wound up not working out.
Well, he pitched for how many years?
He did fine.
He did fine.
Yeah, he was.
Did fine.
I mean, you have a 8 to 10 year career. I believe that's what he was around then.
It still felt short.
But when it was all said and done, you play that long. That's a long time in any professional sport.
All right, I'll give you Martinez.
Well, I guess the one thing you could say is typically you want your guys to go from the bullpen to the starting rotation. And for him, he went from the starting rotation essentially to the bullpen. Mm-hmm. Remember, he was the closer in that 2019 year.
I'll never forget Goldschmidt staring at him when it looked like he was going to let that one game slip away. I can't remember what game it was. Was that Busch Stadium?
Probably game 3. Mm-hmm. It was game 3 of the NLDS, and they did blow that game.
Did they blow that? No, I don't think
the one that I was at, they blew it.
There was a win there.
So they blew game 3, mm-hmm. and then they came back for game 4, and they literally came back in the game. That was the Yadier Molina. He flipped the bat up into the air.
Right.
And then in game 5, they pumped him in the first inning in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, that was like the 10-0 game, wasn't it?
So we got a text here from the 314. And he or she texted it 4 times, so I guess they wanted to get our attention. And how many of those players are starters, are proven starters?
Which
the homegrown players?
The homegrown players?
I think all of them.
Most of them.
I think all of them.
Burleson's a starter. Donovan is a starter. Wynn is a starter. Newbar is a starter. Walker's a starter. Whether it's Scott or Ciani, one of them will start in center field.
Correct.
Gorman will be
DH. We'll discuss that later.
You may have to move him around, but he's a
DH or starter.
And then Pages or Herrera, whatever starter you go with there's a starter.
Maybe the question is how many of those guys are starters on other teams?
Well, this is what I wanted to get to.
Donovan, Wynn, Nootbaar. We don't know about Walker yet, so if you want to pause on that, fine. Gorman, I think, would be starting somewhere.
But that's what I wanted to get to with that comment, because when you name all those people, you'll have people say, well, how many of them are? Your job is to develop them to be starters in the major league or great role players. Whatever their job is to be able to excel in that role. Mm-hmm. If you got guys that are starting, you've done a really good job, because that's the ultimate goal. Now, if they become superstars, that's on them. That's the talent that they have or the work ethic that they put in as a player. My job as a coach is to prepare you for the game, get you in, make sure you're ready to be a starter or whatever role we have assigned for you, and that's what they've done. Your job is to keep that position as a starter, stay in that job, and excel in that job. And hopefully, if you're doing a good enough job, you become an all-star. Mm-hmm. You become one of the faces of the team, maybe the faces of the league. But that part, in my opinion, is on the player. It's no longer on the front office or the coaches to develop you to that part. Either you got it or you don't. Like, there's only so much development that you can give certain players. And then some players, they got it and they don't need a whole lot of help.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what do we know, though, about the Cardinals and how their players that come through the system are, minus the Albert Pujolses and Yadier Molinas, and, typically they're all like really good accent pieces, right?
Yeah.
Now you have a full team of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but let me play devil's advocate here. Who does develop players that you feel confident in? Because there seems to be kind of, and I'm seeing some comments here by this people in the snake pit that are kind of following what you're saying, like kind of, they're developing role players. So who develops what you would consider like, man, that team develops studs?
Okay, so I think the Orioles have a good young team.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Padres have had some good players. Now they have traded said players.
Right. Now I'm talking about developing.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did. They went through the system, and like C.J. Abrams, right? He was a Padre, got traded. Now he is a National.
Sure.
The Dodgers, they trade all their guys. Yordan Alvarez, he was a Dodger.
Yep.
Now he's an Astro. Like there's So like teams like that, they end up developing like really good players. I think the Milwaukee Brewers do a great job of doing that. We don't even know who they are, but they consistently play good. And when we think that they're not going to win the division, they go out and win the division with a bunch of nobodies.
But I'll counter Milwaukee. They traded for William Contreras. They traded for Willy Adames. They traded for Christian Yelich. Now, they did draft and develop Jackson Churio, but we're talking about one player. I think there's Braves might be Hugh Gisoli might be the best. That's the best example, right? That's the one team that if you asked me that question, I would say the Braves. The Braves are the one team that like developed international free agents and developed those guys through the system. And I think the Braves do it, quite frankly, better than anybody. But we're not talking about a very long list here, right? The majority of Major League Baseball are developing guys, and they got a couple of scattered pieces, a couple of young guys. We're not talking about developing pure superstars 1 through 9 in the order. My point in all this is the Cleveland Guardians have had a good run. Outside of Jose Ramirez, and I think that's even debatable whether or not Jose Ramirez is a superstar.
He is a damn good baseball player. He is a
great player.
You don't think he's a superstar?
He'd be a superstar if he played on a different team.
Probably.
Okay. But Cleveland, bottom line is, outside of Jose Ramirez, are you looking up and down that team and you're like, man, they just know how to develop studs? Or do they have a really good team top to bottom?
No, they have a really solid team top to bottom.
I think we need to change our expectations a little bit here. Albert Pujols, once in a lifetime, absolute freak that nobody saw coming. He wouldn't have lasted as long as he did in that draft, had everybody known that Albert, he would have been the number 1 overall pick, period. Bonus baby up the you-know-what. I think that when we talk about, well, you have to develop stars, I agree, but I think where the Cardinals are trying to get to as their baseline, as a team that consistently develops starters. Mason Wynn may be a star when it's all said and done, but I think developing those starters that have a higher ceiling than a lower floor, or a higher floor rather, because that's always been the model for them. I think that's where we need to get to.
Is that going to win you a World Series?
I don't know.
Has
Cleveland has not won.
Okay.
Yeah, they got to Game 7 of a World Series, but again, you're not signing like what we have to. The game has changed. You're not signing like the Dodgers are. You're not signing like the Phillies are. You're not signing players. You're not spending that money. You know what I mean? You're not
well, you're not spending that money yet, right? Maybe they do.
I don't know if they ever get to where the Dodgers are or the Yankees.
No, they won't. No, not like
exactly.
that. But like, I can't imagine them going every single offseason doing what they did this year. Like, I have to imagine at some point in the next 3 or 4 years, they'll start spending more money.
Paper Straw says, Anthony, it's not about developing a team of superstars. It's about developing one nationally known player that the Cardinals haven't done yet since Yachty. Okay, that's fine. What I'm saying is let's change. I'm not disagreeing with that. So let's back down and say, let's calm down. What I'm saying is I keep hearing they develop role players. I think what they're trying to do is develop a solid team that then they can add to, which is something that they haven't done. When they do add, they've added that 31-year-old who's a mediocre player, and they overpay him and they give him 5 years. They give him a long term. They got to get away from that. So, and until they do, I don't think that we're even talking about winning divisions again. I don't mind the approach that they're taking.
But are they going to go out and sign the superstar?
Does the superstar want to be here?
Well, it doesn't matter. Would they? Do you think that? Let's just say he does want to be here, but you're not willing to give him enough money.
They were willing to give Arenado $200+ million. They were willing to sign Goldie for whatever what was it, 150 million.
You might only get available.
You might only get one, and he's got to be interested. Stanton told them to chase themselves. The model is broken. Okay, if you want me to say that, I've said that over and over again. What they have been doing has been absolutely broken, and I think the lack of development from the pitching standpoint is the greater mistake.
Oh, for sure.
Which is kind of the point of the segment. They have stunk from a pitching development standpoint. And CD, we don't have to go down the road again that you and I typically go to, because you and I are completely opposite when it comes to the Ozuna trade. But you have to get to, in my opinion, you have to get back to the point where you're developing stud pitching and then filling in the gaps from a position player standpoint.
I think the part where I'll disagree is I think they have started, that development part has happened. The actual playing part hasn't.
That's
like
fair.
Andre Palante looks like he's going to be a really good player. Michael McGreevy looked really good last year. Gordon Graceffo, Tink Hintz, Quinn Matthews. Like, you got all of these names. They just haven't played yet. Like, so in my opinion, they have that part. Those guys have shown that if given the opportunity, they need to get the opportunity, though. They haven't gotten that opportunity, so we don't know if that part of their development has been stunted because we ain't seen it. So
right.
I think
and why is that? Can I cut you off for a second? Why is that?
Because for whatever reason, the Cardinals' philosophy is, I'm going to get old dudes because they keep people in the stands, and these young dudes might not perform well.
Thank you. They're blocking themselves.
That's a how you go about your business is in my opinion is incorrect. Because I think any coach will tell you, if you got two guys, one old, one young, and they are essentially the same player, you usually go with the younger guy. It's just what it is. Because if they're essentially the same, well, hell, I'm going to go with the older guy if I got more time with this guy.
Back of the baseball card.
That's all I keep hearing. Back of the baseball card.
If they are
Throw out the damn baseball card.
Who even collects cards now? Do people collect cards?
I think people do. Yeah.
We don't want
Do they?
to crap all over the people.
No,
that collect
I'm not crapping on them.
I used to love that.
Do they sell them? How old were you,
Oh,
Anthony?
yeah.
Anthony, how old were you?
When I was,
Collecting cards. When's the last time you went and bought a pack of cards from the store?
oh boy,
My point
I
exactly.
was in grade school. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think so. In my opinion, I think it's 233. It might be out of school, but most of the people that are collecting cards probably in school. Anthony, they're not listening to us. Nah, you might have a few, handful, but who the hell cares about the back of a baseball card? I ain't even looked at one
Right.
in 10 years.
I think what we're trying to say here is the Cardinals are C-blocking themselves consistently.
There you go.
And always have.
Yeah.
But hopefully that
Sorry,
changes.
Frick James. I apologize.
Hopefully
Sorry,
that
Eddie.
changes. Yeah.
I said a couple. I said a handful.
There is something to like opening that pack of cards.
That's cool,
Man.
especially if you can find like a rookie card of a
Smells
star
nice.
and one of the guys.
Absolutely.
Man, but I haven't bought any cards in years.
No, I haven't either.
My son collects them though.
Does he?
He's 12.
Oh, okay.
See?
Cool. What does he collect?
Football.
Nice.
Yeah. He enjoys it. He got a whole little binder of all the teams.
At least he puts them in the binder.
does.
Killing's got them all over the house. I'm like, buddy,
Yeah.
it's a Brett Favre. Like, let's just
Could have been something.
let's not do this. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. What's trending is next.
Hey, it's Kerry Davis, and if you're a contractor or own a business that needs recycling, you need to learn about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. They're tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. At Scrap Mart, they understand that job site cleanup for contractors is often a mess. But if you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you'd have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals add up and how it can help your business's cash flow. If you own that heavy equipment, you get frustrated because it breaks down over and over again. You have to repair it over and over again. Well, when the time comes to end your suffering, Scrap Mart will come and get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to haul it yourself, they have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. Copper wire, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, batteries, electric motors, steel, cast iron, and more. It is recycling made easy. All you need to do is go to scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account to get you rolling. That's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell him Kerry sent you.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Jordan Binnington and Team Canada defeat Sweden last night in the first Four Nations face-off game. It went to overtime, and Jordan Binnington stopped 23 of 26. The United States will take on Finland tonight, and you can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We'll talk with Voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network, Chris Kerber at 3:15. We'll talk some Blues. We'll talk some Four Nations face-off. So stay tuned for that. Once again, 3:15 with Chris Kerber. Coming up next, though, we have What's Trending. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, this is something that I wanted to bring up the past couple of days, but it just kind of eluded me. But I saw it again, and I needed to bring it up to you guys because I thought you would find this interesting. But Patrick Mahomes Sr. and John Rocker have been getting into it on the internet.
Like
John Rocker.
Yeah.
Like the John Rocker. And they've been going back and forth. John Rocker ran into Patrick Mahomes Sr. The weekend of the Super Bowl, and they kind of got into like a little shoving, and they're chirping each other, a little shoving match. And then John Rocker says, this fast lane loser can't take a damn joke. Wish I laid him out right there and ruined his BS weekend even more. And Patrick Mahomes Sr. comes back and says, you really haven't changed one bit in the last 25 years. Keep my name out your loud mouth. And they've just been going back and forth. John Rocker then called him a clown. Anyways, I don't know if you guys have heard of Barstool's Rough and Rowdy.
Mm-mm.
Basically, it's a boxing match.
Okay.
And it looks like Patrick Mahomes Sr. and John Rocker will be facing off against each other.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on that? And
I hope John Rocker gets his ass kicked.
So you're not a John Rocker fan?
I don't think anybody is. Might be a few people, but I'm definitely not.
No. Guy's a lunatic.
Yeah.
Always has been. Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good with former MLB pitcher Patrick Mahomes Sr. just crushing him at any point. I'm good with that.
So I bring this up because I wanted to ask you guys, if there were two professional athletes, either active or back in the day, that you think it would be very entertaining to see them box because of their rivalry on the field, on the court, on the ice, like who would
Nancy
that
Kerrigan
be?
and
Okay.
I'd pay money for that.
She did box. Remember that? She did the celebrity box.
Tanya Harding.
Tanya Harding did the celebrity
Nancy
box.
Kerrigan and Tanya Harding getting in they let it be a steel cage match to the death.
Although I worry about Nancy Kerrigan in that regard.
I don't know.
I don't think she was angry enough.
Oh, she was angry.
sad.
She was what? Yeah, it was bad.
How about this? Nancy Kerrigan gets a crowbar.
Oh gosh. That seems unfair. That seems unfair.
What do you mean unfair?
I don't know. That seems like
At
a bit
least
much.
Tanya Harding will see it coming.
She didn't see that one coming, huh? You're right. You're not wrong. How about Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas?
That's a good one.
I was watching a video the other day with Dwayne Wade, and he was talking about the 75th celebration, and Michael Jordan was like at the end of the line, and Dwayne Wade was kind of a few people in front of him, and Isaiah Thomas was in front of him, and he said Isaiah Thomas was just mumbling like, and he said, "What's wrong, man? What's going on?" He said, "Him back there." And Dwayne was like, y'all still beefing? Like y'all still don't like each other? Like, this is 40 years, man.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Yeah. That would be it. Yeah. I would love to see that.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Would Isaiah Thomas actually fight, though?
Isaiah Thomas would fight.
Instead of ducking.
He was punching people in the back of the head, man. He punched Bill Laimbeer in the back of the head. I believe his own teammate. Like, he didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were nuts. That was that's when basketball was.
I was going to say, it sounds like basketball used to be cool.
Marshy.
It was
back in the 90s.
In the 80s and 90s.
Late 80s and 90s was the golden era of basketball.
Oh, man.
When you had true hatred among the teams.
They
weren't
signing.
signing.
And dead dapping. We're good. Nah, they were trying to knock each other out.
Man.
Yeah.
Good times, man.
Sounds like a great
You
time.
got to watch Kurt Rambis get clotheslined.
What?
Oh, you've never seen that?
I thought we were talking about the NBA, not American Gladiator.
Kurt Rambis got clotheslined going in for a layup, man.
By Lambeer?
Yeah, was it Lambeer? Yeah.
It probably was. I mean, Lambeer clotheslined everybody.
No, it was Kevin McHale. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting some text from the Air Comfort Service text line about who they would like to see in a professional sports boxing match. 618 says Roger Clemens and Mike Piazza.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
We have Stubby Clapp and Pete Alonso. We have Richard Sherman versus Stephen A. Smith.
I'd rather see Richard Sherman and Michael Crabtree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That
Let
was
them
a good one.
Yep.
Akeem Talib and Michael Crabtree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tony La Russa and Dusty Baker.
Oh, good one.
I don't know if we need to see that one, though.
Yeah.
Not now. Maybe 25 years ago.
Yeah.
The 314 says Charles Woodson versus David Boston.
Oh.
I don't know the history behind this.
Michigan and
Let me tell you
Ohio
something.
State.
David Boston was one of the largest human beings I've ever seen
was
play that position.
Jacked.
We were
He was
teammates in
jacked in
Tampa.
college.
Him and they were huge dudes. Yeah, like just why am I thinking the running back Michael? What the hell?
Mike Allstott?
No,
Michael Bennett?
no. His son plays for the Colts.
Michael.
Receiver.
Oh, Pittman.
Yeah, Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pittman was a bad dude.
that was my guy. Sad I couldn't remember his name.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
We have one from the 618, a rematch of Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura.
Okay. Yeah, that did not end well
That
for
ain't
Robin Ventura.
Yeah, he got punched in the face. You can't charge the mound and get beat up.
Yeah.
Like,
you
if
can't you can't charge the mound and be in a headlock when it's all said and done.
Yeah, you put you in a headlock and just
Right.
no.
He'd take his knuckles and then rub his forehead, or rub the top of his head.
I think Ventura would have rather have that. It'd be a little bit more embarrassing. But yeah, those are good ones.
One more from the 314, Yadier Molina and Brandon Phillips.
Oh, sign me up for that.
That actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, tap him on the shin.
Yachty on Yachty with most players and/or managers. You know, Yachty was such a competitor.
I missed that.
I do as well.
Missed that man.
Well, he's still around. Okay, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Did Jordan Binnington do enough to capture the heart of his home nation? Even though they won, the answer is absolutely no. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Rakell got around Stone. Over Zibanejad, and Binnington saves the day for Team Canada.
I guess he did. Binnington here as an NHLer. Short sample size, only one start here in Montreal.
That audio courtesy of TNT last night as the opening of the Four Nations tournament occurred, and Team Canada getting a win 4-3 over Team Sweden in overtime. And one of the big reasons for that is our guy Jordan Binnington made a huge save in overtime. You think that'd be enough for some people, Kerry? You know, a win and all. But some people just can't get over their hatred of Jordan Binnington. In fact, our guy Andrew Marsh did some crack research last night. And every time that the Swedes scored, he went to social media.
I did.
He went to Twitter, otherwise known as a total cesspool.
Yes.
You got to be careful in there.
Marsh, what were some of the tweets that you pulled out of Twitter after Jordan Binnington gave up some goals?
Yeah, so these are some of the more appropriate ones. These people just, I mean, they don't like him.
Right.
Like, they don't like him.
They flat out don't like him.
They just don't like the guy. Here's a few. I can't believe Binnington is the best we have. Canada really does have some incredibly talented players. And then Jordan Binnington is also there.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We have Binnington was horrendous. Next up, please. I honestly think that's a 3-1 Canada W with a goalie better than Binnington in net. If Canada had a top goalie like the other teams, they would probably sweep the tournament.
Oh, like Sweden?
Yeah, no, it's like there's other goalies that, yeah, anyways.
You know what I mean? Like if they had a top goalie like the other teams, like Sweden does with Philip Gustafsson, who allowed, 4 goals last night. No loss.
Yeah. Binnington is so bad they should have lost. Here's my personal favorite, and this is from a gentleman named Drew Livingstone, who is an executive producer for SDPN, which is, oddly enough, in Canada, and it looks like this guy is an Avalanche fan. He said, someone throw a water bottle at Binnington in the postgame.
Oh, wow.
And that is, 4 or 5 different tweets out of hundreds of tweets about this guy? Like, dude, like, come on.
They're acting as if this were the worst goaltender known to man, who has never accomplished anything in his life, and who barely was able to put on his skates and tie them up, let alone win a game for them.
This is, I mean, it's bad, man. They are going after our guy.
This is just further proof that if you are entrenched in an opinion, most people, not all, but most people will want to be proven right every time. This is a game they won.
They did win, and they were up 2-0 at one point.
Yes.
And maybe that's a bit of the frustration that some of the Canadians have. I mean, you just scroll Twitter, Anthony, and just read some of these things. It says Jordan Binnington, count your days. Like
They can't stand the guy.
They got one that says Canada got elite forwards, defenders, and then there's Jordan Binnington.
So they're just waiting.
They're waiting.
They got the person, they got the GOAT
100%
picked out already. They got the punching bag already selected, and they're just waiting. They're waiting to be eliminated so they can blame Jordan Binnington.
Yeah, it looks like we got some Canadians in our text line, too. They also don't like Jordan Binnington. From 618, no Binnington cost Canada a point, so I'm happy. All 3 goals he allowed were soft, and we've seen it too many times here in St. Louis. Allowed goals through the 5-hole and once again flopping on his belly, leaving the entire portion of the net wide open. Again, he's not that good. I think there's a lot of people saying that there's 2 goals that he gave up that were softies. I'd argue the first goal, there was a screen in front. And so it is what it is.
He's got to. Hold on, Marsh. I'm sorry to cut you off, but if you can't see through somebody, if you can't see through human beings, you got no business playing for Team Canada as the goaltender.
There's a moving screen. The second goal.
You know what I mean?
The second goal, gotta have it. Adrian Kempe comes down high slot on a rush chance. Should Drew Doughty maybe step up and do something? Yes. The third goal. He's down on his chest, backdoor pass. We've seen that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
couldn't make the stop. He ended up, yes, giving up 3 goals. Canada was up 2-0, then they were up 2-1, then they were up 3-1, and then he let them come back, essentially, if you want to blame it on him, and it was 3-3. But what did he do in overtime? He made 2 great stops, and Canada got the win in overtime. And a lot of people were kind of comparing him, and Jamie's talked about this before too, the what Grant Fuhr used to do. He would give up the goals, but he'd make the stop that you needed to have at the end of the day to secure the win. And that's what happened. So,
well, let's be real about this. Unless Binnington pitches shutouts and stands on his head and makes miraculous save after miraculous save, it's not going to matter.
No.
These people have already got their pony picked out, and that's it. They're going to blame him.
He has to, in my opinion, have a Game 7-esque performance
every game
against the United States.
Every game.
Or just every game in
Clearly.
order to convince these people that he's a good goaltender.
Yeah.
But, these people they don't watch the games. They're up in Canada. I don't know. Have there been times where Binnington probably could be better? Yes. You can make that argument for any athlete.
Yeah.
You could. There was one tweet that I saw last night that I found to be just hilarious. And this guy goes, "My suspicion is Binnington is a good goalie on a crappy team. Seems to be getting confirmed."
Wow. Interesting. Kind of took the wide angle view on that one.
That's kind of like a crap sandwich.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
For our Blues.
Yeah. For our Blues.
But only on a
for Team
terrible
Canada.
team.
Really?
Saturday, this ultimately, and I don't know why I'm getting so upset over all this Binnington hate. Maybe it's just because I'm protective of our players here in town. I want them to succeed. And of course, it's for not our country, but this makes me want the Blues to get hot at the end of the year and get to the playoffs and steal a series. I know they're probably not going to win the Stanley Cup. Hell, they might not even make the playoffs. But if they could and they could steal a series, I just want to just shove it right in their faces, right? I want him just to do that because, I love the type of mentality that he has.
Yeah.
And I feel like not enough people get to see what we get to see.
Which is a competitor.
A competitor.
Yeah. All right, it's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We do have the United States versus Finland game tonight. The pregame starts right after our show at 6 o'clock. So we will carry the United States Four Nations matchup against Finland tonight right here on 101 ESPN. Oli Marmol was on with TMA earlier today, and he addressed something that has some Cardinals fans consistently calling him a puppet. That's next on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Oli Marmol was on with TMA earlier this morning in Jupiter, and one of the things that was asked of him, or at least the conversation, because it went in many different directions, but one of the conversations was about how fans perceive him, the backlash he'll receive on social media or even at games. And you'll hear a story from him at one point in the show today. But one of the things that was discussed was whether or not the front office has ever forced his hand, whether it's with lineups or otherwise. Here's Oli's statement on that.
I will say that Mo and his group have never, and when I say never, not once, come down and dictated a lineup, a move, anything, bullpen, and any of it. If there is a decision that has been made on that field that does not work, it is 100% my responsibility. Not one time has a lineup gone out or a move been made that is not by me. So if you don't like it, you got one person to hate, and this is this guy right here.
I like that. He takes accountability for it. And that has actually been the message that has been delivered consistently by the Cardinals for years. Before Oli Marmol took over, it has always been stated that it's Mo's roster, and it is the manager, in this case Oli Marmol, the manager's lineups and decisions in game. And I believe that to be the case. Now, Oli did mention, and maybe he mentioned it there and I missed it, but the first time around he had mentioned how there are major league teams that operate that way, where the front office leans on the manager to make certain moves. But I don't think in this case, look, you can be frustrated with Oli Marmol for whatever reason you want. And really, honestly, I'm curious, CD. I don't know if you are, Marsh, if you are. I'm really curious. Leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop. What is it that you don't like about Oli? Or what is it that makes you frustrated about Oli? Or what is it that leaves you blasé about Oli?
They don't like his face.
Somebody called him cute as a button today.
Somebody
on the text line when TMA was doing.
I love that he read all those messages.
He seems to me he seemed more relatable than ever before. Ryan Crawford continues to bash us. More damn excuses. Get the fast lane out of here. Again, Ryan, I'm just curious. Leave us a mic drop. I'd love to know your thoughts on Oli. Now, I did see some of your comments about how has he made the team better. How has the team gotten better? It's not just Oli Marmol. How has the front office gotten the team better? What's the direction of the organization? Oli to me is third in line here. Ownership, front office, then the manager. I'm not saying he's not culpable, but he's been given the roster. If we can all agree the roster isn't good enough, what do you want Oli to do about it?
So, hearing him say that's the second time he said that. He actually said it in an interview either before last year or before 23. I can't remember, with Xavier Scruggs. He mentioned that exact same thing. No one tells me what to do. No one tells me who to play. No one tells me when to take a guy out, when to pinch hit. Every decision that is made is my own. Mm-hmm. So the notion that front office is doing that should have been squashed a year or so ago, at least. I like the fact that he puts the onus on himself, saying these are my decisions. And again, and I've said this, I don't know how many times, when you're in a position of leadership, you're never going to make everyone happy. And it's not your job. Your job is to do what you feel is best in that situation, whether that's pinch hitting, whether that's hit and run, whether that's shifting your outfield to this spot so that you're playing no doubles defense, whatever the job is, whatever the decision is based on the information that you have, that's what you do. And you don't worry about the masses and what they feel and how they think about it. Right. For me, when Ryan is saying, well, how has he gotten the team better? As a coach, as a manager, my job is to prepare you for the game. I don't pick up a bat and swing it at any baseballs during those 9 innings. I don't field any baseballs. I don't go catch or pitch or throw guys out or not. Like, that is, I got the guys that are on the roster. I prepare them to play, and then their job is to be the best that they can be when their moment arises. If they strike out, Is that my fault? No. I put you in the lineup. I expect you to get hits. I expect you to move the runner over, whatever the detail of that job is in that moment. So I feel like people give too much credit and too much blame for coaches and managers. That their job is to prepare you, to put you in a position, and as a player, your job is to excel and exceed in that situation. If you don't, you're not going to win. It ain't about, and you can say, well, they don't have enough talent. Okay, well, they're all in the big leagues. They're all professional players. They're all, the best of the best of the best.
Right.
So at the end of the day, your job as a player is to do the best you can. And good players, bad players often get good managers and good coaches fired.
Right.
So, I don't know how much more you want to put onto a coach in terms of what they are supposed to do.
Anthony, you always talk about, the manager in baseball compared to other head coaches in sports probably does the least amount of stuff.
Correct.
In game, other than like bullpen decisions or whether or not you want to hit and run and stuff like that. I think a lot of times we hear on the text line and, maybe on the internet, well, the guys in that clubhouse, they don't respect Oli. They don't want to play for Oli. All this other stuff.
What proof do we have for that? Besides maybe Tyler O'Neill, who was so scared of getting hurt that he jogged around third base.
Right.
And Oli took the heat on that one when he had veteran players in the clubhouse saying, "Hold this guy accountable, please." Sure, no problem.
And that's probably where that stemmed from. Like, I listened to this interview, and I myself have questioned Oli Marmol through the past, throughout the past couple of years, like certain decision making. Like, I personally would not have put Brandon Crawford to go up, in the late innings against the Cubs, right? Like, I wouldn't have pinch hit right there. That's just my opinion. I don't care what the numbers said. I wouldn't have done that. There's a couple other different moves throughout the years that I don't necessarily agree with. But, like, listening to him talk, I would play for that guy.
Right.
I would. Like, listen to what he has to say. He cares about everybody in that clubhouse. So I think from that perspective, I just don't see that being a thing. Now, if you want to criticize his moves, that's fine. And now he came out and said, like, hey, if you want to criticize, this is all on me. We get a text from the 636. That's 100% the reason why he should be fired, because of all the stupid decisions he's made, all on him.
Okay. All right.
But the thing is, are the players good enough?
You do realize, though, that there are decisions that have worked out, right? Like, we've gotten to the point. Some of us have gotten to the point where if Oli makes a decision, and he's got to make countless decisions all day long, we're to the point now we highlight the ones that did not go right and ask for his removal. That's where we're at. There was somebody in the snake pit, I missed the name, that said we're being biased right now. Stop smooching Mo and Oli. First of all, at what point have we ever kissed Mo's ass? There's no benefit.
We have a guy
That's the first time I've ever
sends
seen
in
that
mic
name.
drops that sounds like him.
Second of all, stop being vague. If you go to the snake pit, I'm challenging you and anybody else, because I've seen other people that pop into the snake pit or on the text line that are vague with their criticisms of this show. Be specific. Be specific in terms of how we are biased toward Oli Marmol. I have literally said on these airwaves, if I were to rank the importance of head coaches, managers, otherwise, for the impact of a game, managers in Major League Baseball would be fourth after a really long pause. I'm not biased to anybody. CD's not biased to anybody. Be specific in terms of your criticisms on this, because I'm curious. Let's have a conversation about this. I listened today. I thought he was incredibly likable. I thought he was likable. I thought he took accountability. I thought he was honest in his answers. But some people listen to it and they feel as though it's like, if Oli doesn't come out and say exactly what I want to hear, then he sucks and needs to go.
We get a text from the 573. Listen to him talk. He talks like a smug, arrogant child. He has no credentials and no business managing a top 5 baseball franchise. I didn't think he sounded like a smug, arrogant child at all in the interview today.
I really didn't either.
I don't know where that's coming from.
And Ryan, I'm actually not talking about you in this specific. He says, I love this show. I'm just saying it's his job to make this team better, is it not? Yeah, it is. Totally is. I'm not. My comments recently, like 30 seconds ago, were not at you. Somebody came in and said we're biased. I would love to know why you think that. Because we've always been honest about stuff. Now, do we get snarky? Yeah. Do we joke around a lot? Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Can we take a second? We have gotten so many text messages about. We had a segment the other day trying to be positive about this team.
We went sideways.
And the second that we actually talk somewhat positive about this team, all of a sudden we work for the damn team.
Correct.
We've spent all offseason not talking good things about the Cardinals because they have not provided us any really good things to talk about. Right. But the one time we bring up something that is somewhat positive, we get crushed.
Back to my original point. You can't please everybody. And then, again, some people, we see this in news. No matter what you do, you tend to go to the side that makes the point that you most enjoy. Right? You don't listen to the other side. You don't listen to the other commentary because you want to be in an echo chamber. You want to be able to have somebody prove you right in what you think. So it is what it is. I think, to your point, Marshy, I thought he did a great job earlier today. I thought he was, and that's one of the reasons I've sat and talked with Oli for an hour or so. Just sat there and chilled, and just he's a really good dude, really down to earth person, not snarky, not thinks he's better than. I think he's a guy that loves baseball. And if you listen to the entire interview, if you got 30, 40 minutes to listen to the entire interview, you should. Because some of the things he said, he doesn't make every decision he makes is not correct. He's even gone into post-game press conferences and said, if I could do that again, I would. Who doesn't? Like, what person in this world that is listening right now, if you make every decision correct in your life, whether it be at work, with your kids, with your family, if you make every decision in life, hell, you make the wrong turns, you might be making the wrong turn right now.
Right.
Damn it, I went the wrong way. Yeah, and you got GPS. It's telling you don't turn that way, and your dumbass turned that way. So help me understand, I get it. We are human beings. The man is I think he's done a fantastic job. I think he's going to continue to do a fantastic job. That doesn't mean, and if he stinks, we'll say it stinks. Mm-hmm. That's part of the business. He has a job to do. We have a job to do. All we're saying is this morning, I thought he did a fantastic job. And if you have a problem with that, there's probably something deep-rooted within you that is unable to acknowledge that.
Amen. Listen, every day I could be fired as a husband. I could be fired as a father. I could be fired on air for decisions that I make that flat out don't work. Every single day. And if you're being honest, you probably think the same thing. I want to read off some of these comments. This really got me. First of all, Wildcard 17. I think the show is great and totally fair. Thank you. Trophy husband. If Anthony's going to hold us all to a higher standard, I may have to bounce. This is as good as it gets. This is as good as I get. That was the one I was laughing when you were talking, CD. I apologize. The only bias on the show is CD against the Chiefs, LOL.
With
John,
good reason.
Fair. Absolutely fair. Some people don't like Oli because he's not Yachty. That's from Kevin. I actually agree with that. I also agree with what Tim said. I'm sure Oli's a good guy, but he should have never been hired as a manager. What was his resume? He's never been a manager anywhere else. He was hired purely for the fact that front office can dictate and influence. I think since Mike Matheny, who I really like, that has been the case. I think Tim nailed it. I think every single time. We like Schilt because Schilt had the one remarkable year, and then he was fired. He honestly left on a high note. Had he been retained, who's to say that we're not still here? And then everybody's talking about Schilt. I think the bigger picture is it's an organization. When they have failed, it's been the organization that has failed from ownership down. We're not excusing the manager. We're not excusing Mo. But it does start with the ownership, and you got to work your way down.
And there's a lot of things that happen throughout a game that we don't know. We don't know who's available in the bullpen.
Right.
We don't know, I would have went to this guy. Can he even throw today? What does that look like?
Sure.
And hey, listen, I've done the same thing. I'm armchair GM sitting on my couch watching the game, complaining all the time. But it's what do you want us to do?
He should look to Ryan's overall point. He is responsible making the team better. That is a very universal statement, though. There's a lot of reasons that go. There's a lot of things that play into whether or not the team is better. I think he made a great point earlier today on TMA, and this may be something that people kind of scoff at, but he made the point of, I want to make sure that my players know that I'm in their corner, that I believe in them, and that I care about them. I care about their families. I care about their well-being and all that. That's part of it. That's part of managing your team. Not everybody's Tony La Russa. Part of it is, will somebody play hard for you because they're invested as well? Not every player is going to be Yachty, and not every player is going to be Albert Pujols, who are absolute machines. And that's part of managing a team. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Why don't we go to, why don't you dive back into Arenado here? What do you want to do, Marshy?
We got Chris Kerber coming up.
Oh, my word.
We do.
It's already 3:19.
Oh, man.
Why'd you guys let me roll?
We were rolling.
We're having a passionate discussion.
Come on, guys.
About Cardinal baseball.
Somebody text Curbs and say we're late.
I already did.
That's why you're the best, Marsh.
Thanks, Anthony.
Let's get to Chris Kerber next on 101 ESPN. Sorry.
Hey, you want to hear something cool about Classic Air Care? It comes down to, how do you treat your employees? What's the kind of culture that you have inside your organization, so when they go out and service the community, you know that you're going to get the best possible service. Well, if Classic Air Care, who's been making people comfortable since 1926, if there's a local company that maybe gone awry, maybe they're about to go out of business, well, they've taken them over. And when they bring those employees in with them, they let their employees keep their tenure. And in a lot of cases, they actually take the logo of the previous business and they keep it on the shirt. So when the neighborhood sees that logo still, they know that it's associated, because they know that the kind of care that goes into your house to take care of your heating and cooling units are the kind of people that you want to make sure they're doing a top-notch job. They got a 4.8 Google rating. They're easy to get a hold of. You can schedule appointments online. You can also call. They've got a 24/7 hotline. It's there for you. So Classic Air Care, they treat their employees terrifically, which is why you get the best service, because of the pride that they have in working for the company that they have. Classic Air Care, making people comfortable since 1926.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to our Collier and Thompson phone line. We're joined by our guy, Chris Kerber. And I got to start off by apologizing, Kerbs. Terrible clock management by your guy here today. We are 10 minutes late to get to you, Kerbs. I was talking passionately about the Cardinals. We're involving listeners. So I apologize, man.
That's all right, dude. So long as you solve the problems, we're in good shape.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, now I got to apologize for another thing then, because I definitely have not solved any issues with the Cardinals.
Far from that.
Hey, Kerbs, can you enlighten us on why the nation of Canada hates our guy, Jordan Binnington? I mean, what is with the level of hatred toward Binnington and, like, him being the starting goaltender for the now 1-0 Canada squad?
Oh, I don't know that it's hatred. I just think it's a lack of knowledge. When you go back and you look at some of the goaltending for Team Canada over the years and these kind of best-on-best tournaments, you've been looking at pretty much future Hall of Famers all the way across the board. Although I actually can make the case, I don't know that Carey Price should be a Hall of Famer or not, but that's another discussion. I'll tell you what, if Curtis Joseph is not in the Hall of Fame, then Carey Price doesn't go in the Hall of Fame in my book. But having said that, I think there's still a little bit in Jordan Binnington's whole career. Heck, even now, despite the fact that he's won a cup, it's still a what have you done lately? Prove it to me kind of situation. And, you know, they've got a 3-1 lead. One goal goes in that maybe I think he was screened on, but what are you going to – nothing he could do about the other two. So, you know, the way I look at it is – and then he was outstanding in the rest of the third period in overtime. They just haven't seen him. So – I'd say that the rest of Canada is essentially uneducated in just how clutch Jordan Binnington is.
Curbs, the trade deadline is approaching in a few weeks, and there's been a lot of smoke and talk about Braden Shen potentially being traded. Do you think that's really going to happen? And if so, do you think it makes sense for the Blues to do that?
You know, Kerry, these kind of questions sometimes, like I'm not sure exactly how to answer them, just because, I hate speculating on guys that are currently here, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys, all right? Because here's what I can tell you. The way I would answer that is the St. Louis Blues have some players, and Shen being one of them, where you still have, I think, a good amount of good hockey left in them, right? And not all that unreasonable term, whether it be years or dollar value, especially knowing now what the salary cap is going to be for the next 3 years. So where in previous years, trading for somebody with a $6 million cap hit might have been really, really difficult because you don't know yet what the next year's salary cap is going to be. The fact that the league and the PA have come out and basically set the cap for the next 3 years, it allows teams to project out those expenditures And I think it makes it far more reasonable and more likely to have more hockey trades as a result of it. So when you look at the St. Louis Blues, back to your original question, whether it be a Braden Shen, a Justin Falk, guys like that. Now, obviously, you know who your UFAs are going to be. But even, say, a Nick Leddy, somebody that has term on their contract, for a team that has struggled to meet expectations, I think Doug Armstrong has shown the propensity to go ahead and shake things up and move some pieces. So I think you have to expect some type of movement. But I just think the landscape of what the National Hockey League has done with the PA, and especially the salary cap, it allows teams to explore hockey trades that I don't think in the past you actually could explore. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that if you're hearing rumors of interest with some of these guys, that the interest would be there and that the interest is legit.
Kerbs, do you think this Four Nations break could help the Blues in this second half of the season? Back in 2018, 2019, that little break that Jim Montgomery's Dallas Stars had, they ended up rattling off like 4 or 5 wins coming out of that break. Do you think that you could see something similar with this iteration of Jim Montgomery's squad?
I believe that he believes that there is. And, yeah, I mean, I guess if in one sense, the biggest difference, Marshy, is that one is there was about 6 or 7 more games. That may not sound like a lot, but when you're kind of backed up against the wall like the Blues are, I actually do think that it is a lot. Mm-hmm. So, I believe they can. I believe the break gives them a chance to reset. I believe the break gives them a chance to come in and recharge. And I still believe they have the pieces to go on a run. They just have to find a way to get the consistency to do so. So I'll tell you what, it's not like the other side of the psychoanalytical aspect of it where if they were playing extremely well going in, you go, oh, this break comes at an awful time. So we might as well say the break comes at a good time. Right?
Well, we have seen it work the other way with the unfortunately the COVID situation where the Blues were playing great and then they went into that bubble and they cooled right off.
Absolutely. It's a great example where, it went completely the other way.
Right. Chris Kerber joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerbs, even if the Blues don't finish with more points than they did a year ago, do you still feel as though that they have made great strides in this retool?
I actually do. I do believe that this team obviously has to buy some time until that wave of players that they are counting on to be the next new core, the Snuggaroos, the Dvorskeys, maybe the Stenbergs, maybe the Lindsteins, who knows, all can come in and starting to have an impact. But I really think what has to excite you is the fact that what was unexpected in this retool is the 2 offer sheets to Broberg and Holloway. It's the continued pretty good, very rewarding play of Jake Neighbors. I think you've seen steps taken forward big time here since Jim Montgomery took over by Jordan Kyrou, right? And I still think at the beginning of the year, prior to getting hurt, Robert Thomas was having a Selke kind of start to the year, and I think we're starting to see some of those flashes come back again. So, look, whether the results are there, if you were expecting this team to make the playoffs, and if they don't, you're disappointed in the results, that's fine, that's fair. But if you consider where they're continuing to make progress in some areas, I think there's a lot to look forward to and a heck of a lot to be positive about.
Curves, last question for me. Shea Theodore got hurt last night. Vegas Golden Knights defenseman playing for Canada. Have you talked to any front office people from the Blues or any other team and their level of something like that happening to one of their guys and maybe missing time when their team starts back up?
Yeah, this is always a big concern, especially with it being an in-season tournament. The Olympics is a big one, Carey, and we have seen guys, go to the Olympics, get hurt, and not be the same player the rest of the way through. So, yeah, that's a big concern. Look, if, I know he was up on his feet and greeting his teammates after the win last night, but if for some reason he were to be hurt in a way that would have him miss some time for the Vegas Golden Knights, that's a big hit. Now, that's the risk that the owners and the Players Association took with this. They understand it. And, this is just part of the business model now. But, yeah, that's a big concern. Now, the funny thing is, they can't replace him on the roster until another guy goes down. So what they can do, Kerry, is they can reach out to say, like, they can reach out to two other defensemen and say, hey, we may need you. Be ready, because if another defenseman goes down in our next game, we're going to call on you. They can set the tone, but they can't actually bring somebody in unless another guy gets hurt. So the roster construction is really kind of fascinating. But, yeah, listen, that's a big concern, especially, let's say, if it's a Colton Parayko and Jordan Binnington, knowing what they mean to your hockey team, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Kerbs, you mentioned the Olympics. I know this is, when we watch something like this as Four Nations, we know how Canada is. They like to analyze every single game, and it is quite interesting. Do you think if Binnington does get the nod against the United States, will that game and his performance dictate what happens if he's on the Canadian Olympic team?
Well, that's a great question, Marshy, because obviously it projects out. I don't know that Canada has a great – I don't think they're as deep at the goaltending position as some of these other countries. I will say this. If they go back to, say, Aiden Hill for Game 2, but decide to go with Binnington for the U.S. game, and he has an outstanding game, it only helps what we already know about Jordan Binnington's game and that he's a clutch player, right? Is it a drastic thing if he doesn't? I don't necessarily think so, because he still has the rest of this year, plus a good chunk of next year to prove himself. But at the same time, it doesn't bode well. But I think, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think having a good game far more helps you than a bad game potentially hurts you.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Kerbs, you enjoying your break?
Yeah, having a good time. A little college visit with my one of my daughters, and then we're going to go down to visit the other one in college sometime next week. So, yeah.
Good.
Watching plenty of good hockey now that this has started. Excited about tonight's game for Team USA, and taking a breather from the mic. I'm okay with that, too.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate you carving out some time again. Sorry we were late today.
All good, guys. Have an awesome week.
You too. Thanks, Kerbs. We'll see you.
Yep.
That's Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on 101 ESPN. Why don't we do a quick bet the board? Jamie continues to win and win big. He continues to take underdogs, big underdogs that win outright. I wonder if he changes up his philosophy just a little bit, even though he has been winning. We'll find out next. Bet the board here on 101 ESPN. I want you to do yourself a favor. If you're struggling with credit card debt, I want you to pick up the phone, and if you don't want to call, just text my guy Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. He's local. He's been in the business for a very long time, and there is no situation where he has ever said, well, yeah, nope, I can't help you. He might not be able to help you now when it comes to where the rates are and things like that, but once you become a client of his, he will look out for you. So stop struggling with the credit card debt or any sort of debt that has accumulated. If you're somebody that's looking to buy a home and you don't know if you qualify for a loan because of your finances, just challenge him. Challenge Stewie. Tell him I said it. Said Anthony told, I was listening to the radio. Anthony said, call, and hey, I got a challenge for you. He'll probably chuckle and say, bring it on. That's Stewie. So when you call 314-324-4440, again, 314-324-4440, with whatever situation you got for him, like I said, debt, buying a home, refi, make sure you call him and see what he can do for you. You might be shocked at how great he is. I certainly was at the beginning, but not anymore. Stewie's the man. Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Alex Bregman is a Boston Red Sox. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. How does Alex Bregman, how does that impact Nolan Arenado and your St. Louis Cardinals? Well, we discussed that, so make sure you go check out the podcast page. We also just talked with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network. Once again, if you missed that interview, just head to the 101 ESPN website or the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Tonight, we have another Four Nations game for you as the United States takes on Finland. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. Coming up next, though, we have Bet the Board. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Well, we always say that Jamie does his best work from Mexico, and that certainly is the case this week. He is now 3-0 in Bet the Board this week alone.
Amazing.
And all NBA picks, too.
I mean, hockey is not happening, so he's
been forced to go another route.
Well, it is happening. He's still picking the NBA.
It's kind of crazy.
That's true. Yep. So Jamie's in the lead, right, Marshy?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely in the lead, and he's leading by 4. He has 7 points on the month. We're all tied at 3.
So it's interesting. Now, he texted you the pick yesterday. He texted me again today.
Okay.
And he's taken the over in the Clippers Jazz game. It's 227.5. So he's taking the over in the Clippers Jazz game.
I don't really feel good about that.
And I texted him, I said, why are you shying away from like the big underdogs now? Because you've been having so much success. He goes, Anthony, don't question my methods. Go fast lane yourself. And I said, you know what? I can't. He's right. I can't question his methods. So Clippers Jazz over 227.5 is Jamie's pick tonight.
Well, I don't even know where to go. One of you guys go. Heck.
All right. Give me the Golden State Warriors plus 1.5.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. Plus 1.5?
Yeah. Lost last night in Dallas. Going to rebound tonight in Houston, place that they have played very well in the past.
Not a bad pick.
I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do. Last night, I had Jordan Binnington over 23.5 saves. It's like Vegas knows what's going on.
He had 23, right?
He had 23.
Oh, no.
He had 23.
Oh,
You
no.
and some Canadians are probably upset that
It even went to overtime.
It did go to overtime, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the first period here in this Finland-USA game. And I'm going to go with United States puck line minus 0.5. So they just have to be up by 1. It's at minus 110. So I just need the United States of America to be winning by 1 goal after 20 minutes of play.
Okay.
That doesn't sound terrible.
Well,
Okay.
I may have just jinxed him.
Give me, you know what? Give me old Steph Curry. He's been playing ball pretty well as of late. Had 4 30-point games, scored 25 last night. Give me Steph Curry, 34.5 over points, rebounds, and assists. I got to get back to my roots.
There you have it.
You know?
Good man.
Yeah.
Good.
Bet on the damn game. You don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Jamie will go against the NBA plays he's been having this month once he gets back? Do you think it's just a
Probably.
Mexico thing?
Yeah, probably.
He'll probably start losing.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay with me.
Me too.
That's okay with me.
I don't want him to win. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if like real money was placed on these Wizards plus 11, Toronto Raptors plus 10, Jazz plus 9?
They'd all lose by 30. They'd all lose by 30. All right. You can help heat up St. Louis tomorrow morning during the 25th annual Hardee's Rise and Shine fundraiser. Stop by any participating Hardee's in the bi-state area tomorrow morning and grab yourself a sausage biscuit or egg biscuit for just $1. 100% of the proceeds of all funds collected will help heat up St. Louis, supporting people in need in both Missouri and Illinois. That's tomorrow morning at any participating Hardee's, and you can find out more information at 101ESPN.com. I tried to go back to the Arenado situation. You guys wouldn't let me until now.
What do you mean?
Well, we had curbs.
Oh.
Yeah, you were trying to, we had to get curbs in. Talk our hockey.
I'm sorry.
No.
No, I am. I'm really sorry.
I thought you were definitely going to hit me with a crap sandwich.
No. Look, sometimes you get rolling. Yeah. You get talking about some passionate things, and we were talking passionate ball.
That's what the Cardinals bring.
Yeah.
They bring passion.
Out of us, certainly.
To the listeners.
They got a passion for fashion. Yeah. Those nice City Connect
Uniforms are pretty sweet. Yeah, I'll give it to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Tim was making a play, too, to Oli to wear the Navy caps on the road.
They've been doing that all week. They've been asking, players and, obviously personnel if they would go back to the Navy cap, which I'm a huge fan of. I think they should do it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, I love the Navy look.
It's great.
I love the dark Navy hat. It's fantastic.
You just hate the red.
No, I don't hate
City
the red.
Connect jersey with the white pants.
I've come around. I've
he doesn't
come
like the
around
hat.
on those.
Oh,
The
yeah,
hat is dumb.
The hat doesn't.
Was it STL?
Yeah.
Well, I understand why.
It's
It's
dumb.
like the typography doesn't match
It doesn't
the
match.
uniform.
Kind of looks like the
But I came around on the City Connect
score
jerseys.
bug for the Super Bowl.
Jeez, what a terrible score bug.
Marsh was ticked.
Some guy recreated it on Microsoft Excel. That's how easy it was. I could probably do it right now in the next 5 minutes.
You probably could. You're very talented that way. All right. Will Nolan Arenado and that drama, will it affect the Cardinals clubhouse? We'll talk about that next. And CD, that you feel that way. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh and Anthony Stalter. So Oli Marmol was on with the guys from TMA earlier today, and one of the things that he was asked was about Nolan Arenado, who will eventually report to spring training because unlikely to be dealt, especially after Alex Bregman was signed by the Red Sox. But here's Oli on whether or not the saga will impact the clubhouse.
It's a fair question and one that's worth asking. It really is. I respect it. He's a pro. He's a pro, okay? And when he walks into that room, like, he'll address it properly. And that I'm confident in. If it gets to the point where he walks through that door and we're rolling with Nolan at third, I have 100% confidence that he will address it in a way that is meaningful, and that clubhouse will respond in a way that is meaningful, and we'll get to work. So I just have zero concern about it, man. Like, in my head, he's here. And I'll continue to operate that way until Mo tells me differently. But I'm excited. I am.
I don't think that this is going to be an issue at all. He is a professional that will probably nip the situation in the bud. He speaks well to the media. I remember when we first had him on, when he was traded from the Rockies to the Cardinals, and we had issues. We had to pre-record the interview, and we had issues. And he could have been cooler, couldn't have been nicer. Handled the whole situation with, grace and professionalism, and just kind of understood the media's role. I don't think Arenado's going to have any problems, and I highly doubt it's going to be a problem within the clubhouse. I think this happens. I think it's a problem when players make it an issue, when they make it about themselves or their situation with the team. We've seen that in other areas. I don't think it's going to be an Antonio Brown situation, for example. So once he gets there, I'm sure it'll be business as usual, save for maybe the first day or two, because he's gonna have to field those questions, and so will everybody else.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I think, as a teammate, if you got a guy that is a potential future Hall of Famer, why would I not want that guy on my team?
Yeah.
Right? And despite what people think, we as teammates don't give a damn about people's contract situation. You get paid, man, congratulations. You want to get traded? It sucks, but, it depends on how you go about your business. Like Jimmy Butler, that ran its course in Miami. They were done.
Yep.
Right? But Nolan Arenado hasn't been weird or awkward or to my knowledge with his teammates. It's business. And the fact that this is not Little League. It's not youth baseball. It's not youth sports. It's not high school. These are professionals. This is their job. Yes, you play a sport, but it is a job. It is how you make a living, and you get paid a king's ransom to play a kid's game. That's the way we look at it. But it's not going to be an issue for the people in that clubhouse. It's not going to be an issue for the men that are teammates with him. They're going to be excited. They're going to welcome him back with open arms. And if down the line, something comes up that the Cardinals are able to make a trade and Nolan Arenado agrees to it, then so be it. I think Nolan Arenado's biggest crime is he's passionate about his craft. And it may come off as weird or strange, like you're weird. Everybody has different personalities. Some people are so focused on what they need to do to be successful, there's not a lot for other things. There's not a lot of space for other things. And, being cordial or friendly or happy-go-lucky, I'm losing, I'm not playing well, I don't have things to smile about. Why the hell would I be happy? If you were stinking at your job every day, would you be happy? And nobody's watching you stink at your job. You just know you're not performing well.
Well, we have our YouTube channel.
Well, I'm not talking about you specifically. Yeah, they're watching us. And every time we say a name wrong, they're like, oh, you idiot. You don't even know such and such name. What are you doing? You don't know everything. I don't. I'm sorry.
I don't, yeah.
I wish I did. I wish I knew all things.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, never lose in the gauntlet.
No.
See me, But, all right, that's not the case. Mm-hmm. So he's doing his job in front of millions of people that are watching every day, every night. And you're not performing well, you're going to be frustrated. So I don't have a problem with him being back again. If you get a 10-time Gold Glover on your roster that is able to play and perform at that level, is he hitting at the level he was maybe the last couple of years? No, he didn't last year, but his glove still plays. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I think the only hard part is somebody's going to be looking for an opportunity Thank you, 314. Appreciate it. Carey, you idiot. Right on. So, it just is what it is. It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fun.
It'll be fine.
All right, we got to move forward here. We have the Gauntlet next, and we have a new Gauntlet contestant. So we'll don't forget, we still have our guy. He's beaten us so many times.
Hal.
Hal. Yeah, Hal.
No, we did get the best of Wes.
Wes was the bad guy.
Wes was a
bad guy. Wes.
Let us know.
So
let us know.
Well, Hal is too.
Hal's a bad dude too.
Hal/Henry.
Henry. He's a bad dude. We got to
get Henry off his game on Monday. I won't be here, but you guys, you take care of it.
Oh, I'm sure Jamie will be fresh coming off a trip to Mexico.
It's gonna be bad.
Oh man,
he's gonna be. What day? What are we doing?
Yeah,
it's the Gauntlet. 4:00 every day. Oh, is that what time it is? Yeah, Jamie.
We got a problem. Anyways, so we do have our championship matchup with Hal, but we have a new Gauntlet contestant next on 101 ESPN.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Your time check. Brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. It is 4:01, and it is time for the Gauntlet, and we welcome in Robbie to the program. What's up, Robbie?
Hey. How's it going?
Going pretty well, man. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. First time in the Gauntlet?
Yeah, first time, man. I'm just out here trying to keep my extremities warm like everybody else today.
Good luck. Yeah, be safe, Robbie. Be safe. All right. So, would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, CD, or me in the Gauntlet today?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Marshy.
Oh, now is this an opportunity to see if you're a good guy or not?
That's already been settled.
Wow.
I am not a good guy.
Okay, that's why you might not even need to play then. That makes sense. Typically, when somebody chooses Marsh first, it's an easy one if you're not a good person. So, Robbie, let's put that to the test, man. Go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
All right, Marsh is going to get out of here. What category were you hoping for, Robbie?
Oh, man, I'm afraid that I'll jinx myself if I say which one I'm scared of. So
Okay.
I'm just going to keep my lips zipped.
Okay, no problem. So the wheel. All right, I see the one that the wheel chose for you. Let's see if the wheel knows you, Robbie. Which one did you not want? Which category did you not want?
Hockey.
Okay, all right. So you did not get hockey. Was there a category? Thanks, CD. Was there a category that you did want?
I feel good about baseball.
All right, well, you didn't get baseball either. You got random.
Hey, all right, okay.
Oh, wow, you got excited about that. All right, 4 random questions. 4 random questions, Robbie. All were 2 points, unless you asked for the options. If you asked for the options, they're worth 2 points. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, question number 1. What are baby skunks called? What are baby skunks called?
Okay, yep, option me.
Kits, pelts, thistles. Kits, pelts, thistles.
Okay, I'm going to go kits. Final answer.
All right.
Question number 2. Terry Tate made his debut during Super Bowl 37. He was an office standout at the position of...
Oh. Okay, hit me with the options.
Is it defensive end, running back, or linebacker?
A linebacker. Final.
All right, Robbie, question 3. Late last month, which of the nation's premier coffee giants revealed plans to cut 30% of its menu by the end of 2025?
That is Starbucks. Final answer.
Question number 4. Whose executive order essentially created FEMA, the U.S. government agency that coordinates the federal response to disasters?
Ooh, that's got to be a president, and it's got to be pre-Bush 2. Let's do Lyndon Johnson. Final answer.
All right. Well, let's bring back Marsh from the Cone of Silence. How you feeling, Robbie?
Oh, man, I'm teetering here. I don't know.
Okay. Well, Marsh is making his way back from the Cone of Silence right now. He's got his cap on. Now, I would not describe this as the OJ cap.
Well, why would you even say that?
Because this is yellow. He was wearing the black one the other day.
Oh, my gosh.
OJ had the black knit cap on the night that he decided to take a stroll.
And that's all he did, and that's all we know.
I think we know.
You weren't there, neither was I.
Well, this thing called DNA.
That thing can be tricky.
Deoxyribonucleic acid.
That's right. Yeah. All right, Marsh.
Yes.
How was Going to Silence?
Oh, I was very silent.
Okay.
Very silent.
Your category today, Marsh against Robbie, is random.
Oh, perfect.
CD?
A whole pack of lunch.
Here we go.
Lovely.
Question 1. What are baby skunks called? What are baby skunks called?
Maybe they're called baby skunks. Let's go with the options.
Okay, option A, baby skunks.
You're kidding.
I am kidding. There's your real options. Kits, pelts, thistles. Kits, pelts, thistles.
What? Kits, pelts, thistles. Anthony, I have no idea. But, in soccer, the game of football, they call jerseys kits. And I think Skunks have a pretty cool kit, black and white. I'm going to go with kit, final answer.
Interesting how you got there, Marsh.
Yep.
Terry Tate made his debut during Super Bowl 37. He was an office standout at what position?
Linebacker. Final answer.
Question 3. Late last month, which of the nation's premier coffee giants revealed plans to cut 30% of its menu by the end of 2025?
Oh, wow. Say that again?
Late last month, which of the nation's premier coffee giants revealed plans to cut 30% of its menu by the end of 2025?
All right, let's see here. I don't know. I feel like if Starbucks were to do that, we would have heard about it from Carey. Probably would have heard about it from my girlfriend, too. Give me Dunkin' Donuts. Final answer.
Question number 4. Whose executive order essentially created FEMA, the U.S. government agency that coordinates the federal response to disasters?
Whose executive order? Executive Order 66 from Darth Plagueis. Not Darth Plagueis, pardon me. Darth Sidious.
As if we would have called it. As if CD and I would have called it.
What are you talking about?
Wait a second, technically.
I have no idea. Options.
All right, is it Lyndon B. Johnson, Gerald Ford, or Jimmy Carter?
All right, can you ask the question one more time? I got Star Wars on my brain.
Whose executive order essentially created FEMA, the U.S. government agency that coordinates the federal response to disasters?
I'll go with the guy that was around the longest, Jimmy Carter. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Robbie versus Marshy. To determine whether or not Robbie actually is who he says he is, which is, quote, I know I'm a bad guy.
Probably with those questions.
Question 1. What are baby skunks called? Robbie, without the options. Actually, I'm sorry, with the options, you said kits. Marsh, you said that in football, their uniforms are called kits, and skunks have a pretty cool kit.
They do.
So you also went with kits. Correct answer is?
It is kits.
Nice
That's
job,
what
guys.
I'm talking about, Robbie.
We got a 1-1 tie here. Terry Tate.
Terry might be an evil villain.
Yeah, he might be.
Oh my gosh.
Terry Tate made his debut during Super Bowl 37. He was an office standout at the position of, you both said linebacker. Correct answer is?
It is linebacker.
But Marsh did not need the options on that one, so Marshy has taken a 1-point lead in today's Gauntlet. Question 3. Late last month, which of the nation's premier coffee giants revealed plans to cut 30% of its menu by the end of 2025? Marsh, you said, if it's Starbucks, you probably heard about it already, and you mentioned Rachel, your wonderful eagle-loving girlfriend.
Philadelphia Eagle, not just like...
Well, I'm sure she loves eagles, too.
They are very pretty.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
you,
cool.
you said, if it's Starbucks, we would have heard of it. So you went with Dunkin' Donuts and you didn't take the options on that one.
No.
I can confirm Dunkin' was a choice. Robbie went the more conventional route. He went with the obvious choice, which would be Starbucks. The other option was Scooters.
Never heard of it.
Old Scooter McGaffey.
Actually, no, I take
Scooters?
that back. I have.
Yeah, Scooters is
Scooters.
really darn good. Guys.
And gals. Correct answer is?
Yeah, it's Starbucks. I don't know how you didn't hear it.
Starbucks. Yeah. And Robbie did not need the options on that one.
Unreal.
So what we have here is a 1-point lead for Robbie with one question remaining. Wow. Here we go. Whose executive order essentially created FEMA, the U.S. government agency that coordinates the federal response to disasters? Now, Robbie went with Lyndon B. Johnson. Not an option.
It was an option.
Oh, it was an option. My bad.
It was an option.
Oh, it says right here. My bad. Jeez. Wow. Come on. How about I read the options first? Your options, Lyndon B. Johnson. Marsh took the options, went with Jimmy Carter. If it's Lyndon B. Johnson, Robbie wins. If it's Jimmy Carter, we have a walk-off. Wow. One of you is correct. Correct answer is?
It is Jimmy Carter.
Whoa!
Walk it off.
We got a walk-off, gentlemen. We got a walk-off. All right, Robbie, this is how it's going to work. We're going to read a question. You're going to hold off on your answer. Marsh is going to write down his answer. Once he gives us his answer, we're going to ask you for yours. All right? Robbie, are you still with us?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Robbie. Oh, no.
This is...
Sounds like he's breathing.
Oh, Robbie.
May need to call him back.
Oh, no. Rob, you have us on mute or something. We can't hear you, Rob.
Oh, he's definitely not on mute. I hear the AC blowing.
He's here. All right. Yes. We thought you ran off the road.
Oh, no.
All right. Robbie.
Did you have this on No, sir.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Robbie. Are you ready for the tiebreaker?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hold off on your answer. Here you go. Closest to the pin wins.
Gotcha.
Here's the question. The 3-hour Puppy Bowl 21 also took place on Super Sunday. How many pooches played in this year's competition? The 3-hour Puppy Bowl 21 also took place on Super Sunday. How many pooches played in this year's competition? Looking for a number.
Puppy Bowl 21.
CD, you are on math duty. Marsh is thinking about his answer.
No, I don't like this.
Oh, he doesn't like it. He's
didn't like
erasing. He is affording Robbie extra time to think about his answer. We have our answer. Okay. So, Robbie, what is yours?
71.
We do not need a calculator for this one. All right, CD, the 3-hour Puppy Bowl 21 also took place on Super Sunday. How many pooches played in this year's competition? Marsh wrote down
18.
18. Robbie just told us 71. Now, Marsh, you were originally erased an answer. What was that?
I was going to put 15.
15. Okay, so you bumped it by 3. Okay.
Yeah.
CD, how many pooches played in this year's competition?
142.
Robbie.
What?
You have chosen wisely.
Apparently it was a new record.
Yeah, baby.
Nice job, Robbie. Congratulations. You knock off Marsh. Now, you confirmed, in fact, that you are a piece of crap, bad human being. But you won.
I love the laugh.
So you will be back tomorrow, where I guess it's just me, right? Because CD, you're off.
I am.
And Jamie is off. So, Robbie, I don't know who you're going for next, but looks like it's going to be me tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Okay. Sleep tight, my man. You got round 2 of the Gauntlet tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Good job, Robbie.
We'll see you.
Oh, boy.
Marcia, you weren't the only one that didn't know
Bradford's
Starbucks.
staring right at me. He knows about to take my job in the next 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, he is. He's going to step in because Marsh's got to go to the penalty box.
How many dogs were in this?
142. Apparently a new record.
I watched the Puppy Bowl
dog.
2 years ago. There was only like a handful of them on the field.
How many are they fitting on that field?
I wonder if they rotate them in and out. Got it. I mean, that's chaos.
I watched the whole thing, and like this one puppy was just having a great day. Like they couldn't rotate that puppy out.
Man, he might have been the star. He stayed the whole game.
I just
if you remember him,
maybe they didn't get camera time. I don't know. Maybe the edit
Yeah.
Led me to believe there's only a handful of them.
Hey, listen, Marsh.
How big is the field?
Well,
it can't be that big.
Maybe they got plenty of sideline. You know, and there's a 80. How many players on a NFL roster?
53.
53.
Yep.
In college, there's like 80 something. So
100 sometimes.
Yeah.
85 scholarship guys. See, Droid FX says, they rotate them in and out, Marsh.
Oh, there you go. These puppies get tired, you know.
You get tuckered out.
Yeah.
All that running and jumping.
So Marsh, he whiffed, and that cost him today.
The 636 says Marshy's streak of crushing nice guys ends today. Well, actually,
it didn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't a good guy. He said it.
We're just getting. I mean, what's interesting too is these people are calling in, choosing Marsh right away, because if you know you're a human pile of crap, you might as well take Marshy first. You're guaranteed win.
Well, it's very shocking because that wasn't the case in the past.
Well, people were avoiding you because they were nice.
That's true. Maybe that is true.
All right. Hey, which NFL teams have the biggest question marks heading into the offseason? We'll get into that conversation next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and fellas, if you could benefit from a little extra in the bedroom, Blue Chew can help you guys. We all know that working out is important. It's shown to improve cardio, reduce stress, improve your mood, but guess what? There's something else that does that too. Yep, sex. You probably take a pre-workout or have a coffee before training, so why should sex be any different? That's why more guys are turning to Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online prescription service. So no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. If you're ready for a great offer, how about free? Go to BlueChew.com, consult with a licensed medical provider, and get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is your secret weapon in the bedroom or wherever you want to get it on. Turn oh no into oh yes. BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it.
Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Can you read that? That's good. That's just
from the Water Boy. He says, but Oli, how often have you listened to the Fast Lane when putting together a lineup? I would tell you firsthand, if you're not listening to us, you're missing out.
Oh, yeah.
Oli knows. He knows what he pays.
Do you think
attention.
he knows the Fast Lane?
Ah, yeah. He listened to it the day before and like, you know what? That was a good lineup.
Good lineup they tried it. Yeah.
Yeah, the one I had didn't do. And go with their lineup today.
Do you remember the one day that you put together a lineup and we lost you for half the show because you got stuck on the cleanup spot?
Did I?
Yeah. Remember that, Marsh?
Was I trying to?
From the penalty box back there?
Where?
Remember you got to, you're like, 1, 2, good.
Yeah,
and then you
I
got
did.
to either 3 or 4. I can't remember what it was. And you just got stuck.
It was 4.
We lost you for the rest of the show.
Because I had Contreras at 3 and I was like 4. I was like, oh, no. I'm stuck.
Yeah.
This is when I thought Nolan Arenado wasn't going to be on the roster. Now
right.
I'm unstuck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's just going to be that cleanup hitter.
There you go. Why'd you say it like that?
I'm happy.
Your voice doesn't say, hey, Marshy.
I'm super excited.
Hey, Marshy. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Marsh
You're
is
over my shoulder.
coming to us by via the penalty box. Bradford Braun stepping in. Now, Bradford, you were the guy that put together the question, right, about the Puppy Bowl?
That is correct. Yes, avid viewer, no doubt about it.
So how did you find the actual number on that?
Well, believe it or not, actually, it's not a huge shocker. Here in the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, the big game itself, you have all this pomp and circumstance, right? Mm-hmm. Well, of course, this year, when you find out there's going to be that record-breaking figure, my goodness gracious. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's like a scouting combine-esque figure.
So they announced that. They said, hey, this is going to be the largest Puppy Bowl in ever, Bob.
Oh, yeah, you've got to hype the crowd accordingly.
Sure,
no doubt about it.
142 pups that are going to be in this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And Marsh just flat out didn't do his homework.
I mean, he was 124
I told you I
short.
watched it a couple years ago, and there was only like a handful of puppies.
Marsh, I mean,
Lisa says,
years ago.
Marsh, they switched every few minutes, and they're all from different rescues.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there you go, Marsh. You got to know this stuff, man.
It's not my fault. I didn't know they weren't getting enough playing time.
They got plenty.
Be fair to you, I also would have lost.
You would have lost by 2. Because he said 71.
Yes.
And I know what you'd have said.
I thought about going with the state with the most representatives, too. Would you like to know that fun fact?
Oh,
Michigan.
Can we all get one guess?
Yes.
I just gave mine.
Are you good with Michigan? You
Yeah,
stick
I'm
with
gonna stay
Michigan?
with Michigan.
Okay.
The state with the most representatives?
Yes.
I'll go California.
I'm going to go with
Guess we should have asked where the game was played at first.
Ohio.
Ooh, I like that. I like
Midwest.
Not
the
quite.
Answer is?
Not quite. Sunshine State. Think Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Ghost.
No, that's Florida.
I even looked up
I pointed to him.
I think I'm more concerned as to why.
Sunshine State, Denver. Gorgeous.
Why is Starbucks cutting their menu? Why is that?
People might not be buying.
They've got, it's too much.
It's the back to basics approach, all right? Paring it down a little bit. New CEO, if I'm not mistaken. You're just trying to scale everything back and playing the hits.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds like the 2024 Cardinal season.
Yeah.
Well,
By the way, there's a Royals fan that has infiltrated the snake pit, and he's just throwing out a whole bunch of crap out there. Here, you guys know nothing. I do know that Madison Bumgarner took your team behind the woodshed all by himself. Oh, man.
Hey, Anthony.
Madison Bumgarner pitched in every single one of those games and just completely... Oh, God, completely took you behind the woodshed.
Hey,
huh?
Anthony.
I mean, one guy to beat an entire team in a World Series.
Marcy's calling you.
Remember that guy that texted a couple weeks ago saying that he has no ammunition anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Royals have won a World Series more recently than the Cardinals. I don't know if we can...
I'm not talking about the Cardinals. I'm talking about the Giants taking his Royals.
Oh, that's right. You're a Giants fan.
Behind the woodshed.
That's right. You're a Giants fan.
I'm talking about one guy, Madison Bumgarner, completely humiliating one franchise, his franchise. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
They did in one of the World Series.
Pitched 487 innings in that World Series. Yeah, but who'd they play?
They played the Mets.
Yeah, nobody remembers that World Series. You talk about one of the worst World Series.
I remember it.
In Major League Baseball history, it was Mets and Royals. That barely counts. Nobody counts that World Series. Nobody watched it.
I watched it, Anthony.
Marsh, what are you doing? Are you this guy? Are you texting in as
I don't
this
have
guy?
I don't have any devices over here.
Then why are you worried about? Is this your brother or something?
No,
what are you worried about?
No, I'm just saying.
One of his friends texting in like they texted about you the other day.
No. That friend did not like me at all.
No.
And he made it known to Marshy.
Yeah.
All right, what are we supposed to be talking about?
I have no
The
clue.
NFL offseason.
Okay.
Yeah, segment's almost over.
Nice job, guys. Nice job.
Nothing to see here.
What NFL team has the biggest question marks heading into the offseason?
Can we knock this down? Just playoff teams? Because, I mean, we could – because if we're going to go non-playoff teams, where do you want to start?
I would say either Tennessee or Vegas.
I wouldn't even say Tennessee because I don't have any expectations of Tennessee.
But they would have a lot of questions, though.
Do they?
Yeah.
They got one question. Quarterback.
That's a huge question.
Man, that's one question, though.
Hey, how about this? Since that Kansas City guy is in the snake pit, what about the Chiefs?
Oh, they got plenty of problems. How you going to protect your franchise quarterback, huh? You see what the Eagles did to those
Build an
guys? They
offensive
did
line.
not blitz one time. Marshy brought that stat to us on Monday. Not one single blitz. You know how hard it is to get 6 sacks without blitzing one time, Anthony? It's pretty damn hard. It ain't easy. Unless you stink up front. Kansas City Royals fan.
Or you got Jalen Carter.
Well, that
on the
helps.
other side.
And Nolan Smith. They got a few guys. They big fellas.
Basically one of the best front sevens in the NFL.
That was good. They did a good job.
Yeah.
What about from the NFC? Marshy, I'm kind of looking at your squad. Honestly, the left side of that O-line, you've got impending free agents left and right. The defense could be gutted a little, too. I know there's roughly 50-ish million of cap space, depending on exactly what happens with one Mr. Darnold. But I think that's an interesting case.
What do you think, Marsh?
I think they have a lot of question marks. Now, I don't think that the question marks are like, well, like this team is in big trouble by any means. I think they have some question marks. I think they'll get it done, and then we'll be back in the playoffs next year.
Marshy, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just saying, that was a good year. Probably ain't gonna happen next year.
That's
Kerry,
a playoff team.
Sam Darnold, who I'm sure heading into the season, you were like, this team isn't going to be a playoff team. Sam Darnold got that team to the playoffs. You're telling me that J.J. McCarthy, who won the national championship
exactly what I'm telling
last
you.
season, can't get that team to the playoffs? They might not win 14 games.
Marshy, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
All right. I'm just saying.
I think you're
He's been playing
putting too
virtual
many
reality
eggs in,
football like Jaden
J.J.
Daniels has.
McCarthy's basket.
I think you need to give
He's
him
gonna
more
fumble
credit.
him.
Kerry, this is coming from a guy who can't stand Michigan. I don't like the Michigan Wolverines.
No, I don't.
It's good to be a Michigan Wolverine.
No, it's not, Anthony. I know we've been singing it. I hate singing that song.
It's good.
No, it's
to
not.
Be a Michigan
But it's good.
Wolverine is good.
I have bought into J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I think he's okay.
All right,
but
that's
I don't
fine.
think he's going to have a lot of success.
That's fine.
Younger quarterbacks tend to struggle unless their name is Patrick Mahomes.
Or what about Jaden Daniels?
Jaden Daniels. Anybody else?
J.J. McCarthy.
It's going to be hard for you.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
With Kevin O'Connell, the guy that just won the head coach of the year?
Yeah, that was nice. Good team. Good defense. Harrison Smith, he's coming back next year. He's like 40. Defense going to take a step back. Offense going to take a step back. Your running game, man, I just don't see it.
Is Aaron Jones locked in? Don't believe he's locked in.
I don't think it matters.
Rely on the running game with McCarthy. It's not going to be the same.
I'm so serious, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to your team.
No, you're trying to crap all over me right now.
I'm being serious.
Yeah, you get I got the Super Bowl right.
He's in the corner. Look what happened. You're in the corner.
I'm trying to bring your expectations down a notch.
My expectations are always low for the team, Carey.
But it should stay that way for this year. That's all I'm saying. Like, you didn't have these expectations going into this season.
Nobody did.
Exactly. So get back to that level. Don't get to the level you felt after the season. It was a great season.
It was. It was a fun season.
It's probably a one-off.
No.
I'm just being honest. I'm sorry.
feel like you're being really honest right now.
The Lions are going to be really good. I think the Packers are going to be good again.
So are the Vikings.
I don't think so. I don't think it'll be 3 teams in that division make the playoffs.
All right. Well, that sucks for the Packers. And the Bears.
Right. Let's move on. You, Marsh, you have officially served your punishment. I didn't realize part of that punishment was having CD crap all over your team.
That's fine. But he's still on that Super Bowl high.
You are.
And you crushed it, Kerry. You really did. I just hope you're wrong this time.
All right.
Well, we'll find out in a year.
Oh, we'll see. Steelers be in the same position as you guys, probably.
Well, that doesn't make me feel any better that your team is still stuck in neutral.
Yeah, we're
and they have been for the last 10 years.
You are the Cardinals of football.
I said this time after time. Maybe you. Yeah, I know.
Yep. All right, Bradford, thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Sorry, Marshy. I started this whole thing. That's not being a good guest.
Yeah, that's your fault. You put that damn puppy bowl question in there.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's why he's in the penalty box there. All right, let's do part 1 of our Sports Six-Pack. 314-399-9646 of the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, Sports Six-Pack part 1 next.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Alex Bregman is now a Boston Red Sox. What does this mean for Nolan Arenado and your St. Louis Cardinals? We discussed that earlier in the show. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. One of those interviews is with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network. We discussed Jordan Binnington's performance in Canada's 4-3 overtime victory in the Four Nations face-off against Sweden. We'll have the second game of that Four Nations face-off with the United States taking on Finland. We'll have it right here for you on 101 ESPN tonight. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next. So get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. I don't know how many times I've come back from a segment or a commercial break laughing with this show.
It's always.
I love you fools. I really do.
We love you too, brother.
I love you,
We
Anthony.
have fun.
Yeah, we do.
You guys like Jamie?
No. No. I love that guy. Yeah. I don't like him. I love him. All right. Sports Six-Pack, 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. Send in your questions there. Marsh, why don't you lead us off here?
Question number 1.
All right, first question comes from FedEx Colton. Sorry if you all have talked about this already, but did you see the play of Travis Kelce going around where he literally just gave up? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think the guy wanted to be there that night. I know he's the ultimate competitor, all that. He's had a great career, this, that, and the other thing. I thought he looked disinterested. Either that or he was just, he I don't know. But yeah, I saw the play. He stopped. And he kind of pointed to where Mahomes could go. I don't know.
So here's what happened. On that same play, if I'm not mistaken, there was a flag thrown. Travis saw the flag thrown. Now, should he have kept running to help his quarterback? Sure, but I can almost guarantee you he knew if I catch this ball, run 60 yards, it's coming back. So, I think it was the play where Jawan Taylor basically tackled. I think it was Brandon Graham or one of the defensive linemen from the Eagles. So he saw the flag because he kind of threw his hands up like and then he turned and looked at Patrick Mahomes. Now that's one play. Another play where they had him blocking the defensive end. I think if your game plan is for tight ends to block defensive ends, you probably should lose.
Or receivers, for that matter.
That's not their job. You know, you get paid to run routes, not pass pro. They got guys for that position, for that job. They're actually called offensive tackles. They block. Write that down.
Offensive tackles.
Right tackle, left tackle. Their main job is to block.
Kyle Pitts was the blocker on that.
He's definitely not a tackle.
Yeah.
Their main job is to block the defensive ends off the edge.
Got it.
So, yeah, that's that guy's job. You know, and then there were some plays. He didn't have a great game.
He stunk.
He did.
But most of the Chiefs stunk, but he stunk.
In his defense, I do think he's starting to slow down a little bit. But in his defense, when a player of that caliber doesn't get involved in the game early, now it's the Super Bowl, it's the last game of the year, there is really no excuse. But when they don't get involved in the game early, you kind of see them drop their head or have a kind of pouting moment. You saw A.J. Brown on the sideline with a book in one game, right? Nobody talking about that now because they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, and
they also
the next
won
game
that game.
they won that game, and the next game they got him involved. So, did he play well? Not at all. But that play in particular, where Patrick Mahomes is scrambling, he saw the flag thrown, and he wasn't, as part of it.
Xavier Worthy was one of the only Chiefs on that offense that balled out all night. Travis Kelce, I thought was a total non-factor.
Do you think he was upset that his girlfriend got booed at the game?
I think he was upset because he didn't want to play that day, and he decided not to.
He wanted to play.
The Super Bowl was on Sunday.
Yeah. He wanted.
Do you think he didn't know that it was played that day?
No, I think he did. He just didn't want to be there.
Oh.
Which is why he barely got out of his stance the one time he was asked to block. Why he didn't get his head around on the 2-point conversion. What else? Oh, he didn't try on that one play that you just brought up, Marsh. Flag or no flag? Yeah, stunk. Non-factor.
Question number 2.
The Water Boy tomorrow.
You told me to be honest.
Yeah, I have told you to do that plenty of times.
Tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
What is a good last-minute gift idea?
BlueChew.com.
Oh!
Gift that keeps on giving, huh?
You better believe it.
All right. Look, you can never go wrong with your significant other's flower choice. I know it's basic. AF. But what the fast lane?
Basic is fast lane?
Basic is fast lane.
Roses, always a nice touch.
Flowers.
Some personal.
Chocolate-covered strawberries. Like,
yeah.
The edible arrangements are nice. A balloon. Something that just says, if it's last minute, like, you gotta be on the hop.
Get some flowers and maybe get a good book. Put them together. Pair them together.
Okay.
What about wine? You can get some wine.
Well, yeah, a wine. Maybe some, what are those little things you can throw in the bath?
Oh.
Bath bomb?
Bath salts, bath
bomb. Get a bath bomb.
Hair dryer?
I don't think you should get a hair dryer. I don't think you should. That's just my opinion. That's like
your face.
What is wrong with you?
Your face.
I don't know if he's picking up on it.
I got it.
Oh, hair dryer.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
I just saw that mistake, Ben. You go. Hair dryer. Oh. No, you're talking about bath salts?
Yeah, bath bombs.
Yeah, bath bombs.
Bath bombs,
Yeah. I would say something personal.
Yeah.
Write a poem.
Write a poem?
That's nice.
Write a letter or something.
Yeah.
That is nice. It's very thoughtful.
Why don't you say, like, the top 10 things that you love about her?
Okay.
Or 20. Depends on how much time you got.
Depends on how much you care.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. Just rank them. Here's the 20 things I love about you.
Yeah.
Number 20.
Mm-hmm. Down to one?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could do, write like different date ideas on a piece of paper and put them in a jar. And then, when you guys are wanting to go out, stick your hand in there, pick it out. Hey, boom, we're going to
the strip club.
You and I were on the opposite sides there. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I know what your significant other likes, Maybe you're into that.
Holy smokes.
Hey.
All right.
You're right.
Anyways, that's why there's multiple different pieces of paper
there
in
you
there.
go.
Right? Never go wrong.
Never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Life's like a box of chocolates.
Okay.
Question number 3.
All right, back to sports.
Yep.
From the 314. So what team do you think Newt, Donovan, Burleson, or Gorman would be starting on that's not the Cardinals? We sort of alluded to
the White Sox.
That, okay.
Trust me, there's plenty. White Sox, Rockies.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Let's see. Pirates.
There's a few teams where those guys would be
the
playing.
Nationals.
They'd be batting cleanup, batting third or fourth in those lineups. What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah.
The Angels.
Austin goes, boys, aren't bath salts a drug?
Are they?
Yes. I think so. People were, I don't know. Yeah.
Bath salts, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Epsom salt is what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Epsom salt for
but
sure.
Bath bombs.
Bath bomb is
bath
like
bombs are a thing.
Yeah, that's like makes the bath all bubbly.
Yeah.
Bath salts are. I mean, if you're into that, I don't know.
Jason from the Snake Pits of the Marlins, they would start on the Marlins.
See?
I mean, Newt would start based on the analytic numbers.
Anywhere.
I think
the question is like, what good team, like what playoff team would they start on?
They probably.
You don't think the Dodgers would use Donovan in a variety of ways?
Tommy Edman
as a starter?
I think they would move him around
As a spot starter, like when a guy needs a day.
Brendan Donovan would be a great Dodger.
Who are your outfielders with the Dodgers?
For the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts was playing shortstop last year.
No, he's playing. Well, he's playing
not in the
shortstop. He's
playoffs.
playing.
Remember, he got his arm
outfield
almost
this year.
got taken off by those two Yankee fans.
Teoscar Hernandez.
Right, but typically he was playing shortstop for that team, and they just traded Gavin Lux.
Teoscar Hernandez.
Okay.
Yeah, but they got a different guy now.
You think Donovan starts over Tommy Edman?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying they probably would.
You asked.
Yeah, Tyler nailed it. Donovan would start over Chris Taylor. Donovan is a younger version of Chris Taylor. Hey, you guys ask me a question, you get upset with the answer.
Where's Chris
That's
Taylor
on you.
starting at?
He should be starting on the bench every game.
Oh, wow. I don't think he's starting.
All I'm saying is, you look at that Dodgers lineup.
They got holes in it?
You got to one of these things don't belong.
All I'm hearing is that the
Chris and ends in a Taylor.
The Dodgers aren't going to be as good as they were last year.
You
That's
guys
what I'm
bet
hearing.
against them then.
Chris Taylor, pretty good Cardinal killer.
Yeah, once for sure. Yeah, Ricky Bobby, Kike Hernandez is there as well. Enrique Hernandez. Anyways, yeah, I hate the Dodgers. All right, moving on.
All right.
Part 2 of our Sports Six back next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. Time for part 2 of our Sports Six-Pack here. Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, and Anthony Stalter. Go ahead, Marsh.
Question number 4.
From the 830, which quarterback is going to have the best rookie season?
Next year?
Which one? What'd you say?
Which quarterback is going to have... I'll just read what the text says.
Okay.
Which quarterback is going to have space the best in this rookie season? Which quarterback that is a rookie will have the best season in said rookie class?
Next year?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So we're talking about Shadir, and we're talking about Cam.
Which rookie? Do it one more time.
Which quarterback is going to have the best rookie season?
Oh, so the rookie season that's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant which rookie quarter. I don't know what I meant.
Yeah.
Well, I get confused.
That's tough to. I mean, I'm not dodging it, but we can't answer that
because you don't know where they're going.
We don't know where they're going.
Yeah, you have no clue.
What about from this past year? Who's going to have the best year next year?
Can we do best career?
Nope.
Next year?
Yeah.
I mean, the easy answer is Jaden Daniels. That's easy.
What did you say? I couldn't hear what you said.
He said that the easy answer is Jaden Daniels. That's what he said. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did you say something about J.J. McCarthy?
No.
I thought I heard something that sounded like J.J. McCarthy.
No.
What?
What do you have against him, Carey?
Nothing. You asked who was going to... I didn't say... I said Jaden Daniels.
That's what I would say, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Jaden Daniels. Or Michael Penix.
Or J.J. McCarthy. Man, I hope... You guys sound like a bunch of Canadians right now, crapping all over Jordan Binnington.
No.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
Those people have no reason to do that. Oh, J.J. McCarthy's going to be great.
Thank you.
Speaking of rookie quarterbacks, I saw Todd McShay. I saw a video today that said Jackson Dart would be potentially better than Shedeur Sanders. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He must be jumping up the board because he wasn't that high.
Yeah, I know.
It was high when I said that.
All it takes is one throw, right? At your senior day.
I mean, we've seen that before.
Yeah, we have.
Just takes
Zach
one
Wilson.
throw.
Yep.
Look at that throw. Yeah, do that when the Eagles are freaking rushing you. Tell me how that works out.
Man, you love the Eagles.
Oh, they were a good team.
Kerry loves every team but my team.
I wouldn't say that.
He doesn't like your team.
I don't like the Browns.
We got a text from the 314. When Marsh has a kid, he should avoid showing CD a picture because he will say that kid's ugly and crap all over him like he did with the Vikings.
Should name him JJ.
Oh,
just to ensure that Carey's not going to like him.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Next question, please.
Question number 5.
From the 636, do you guys think that Max Duggan will be a solid quarterback for the Battlehawks, or will he lose the job to the other quarterbacks on the roster?
I don't even know who else is on the roster.
They've got 2 other guys. What
are their names?
They have the fella from San Jose State.
Yeah, I forget his name, but San Jose State from a couple years ago. I'll get it for you here. Their quarterbacks.
Siobhan Cordeiro?
Yeah, that's him.
Cordero?
Yep. And they got Manny Wilkins from the former quarterback from Arizona State.
Didn't Manny had...
He was on the team last year.
Yeah. He played pretty well last year in spurts.
I think Max Duggan's his style of play fits, I think, what Anthony Becht is trying to do. I've talked to some people on that staff, and that was one of the biggest reasons why they moved off of A.J. McCarron. They wanted that mobility. They wanted, when they wanted to get younger at the position. But the way that the UFL is going now, most teams have those guys that are mobile. So I think that's what Anthony Becht wants to do. He wants a mobile quarterback, somebody that if the play breaks down, that they can escape the pocket and make plays that way. I think Max Duggan is a perfect fit.
I think he would do really well in a certain play call by a certain person.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Who would that be?
And maybe that one play call turns into something more.
Maybe.
Man.
Like, man, this guy's
got something.
He's got something.
Hell of a play call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe we'll see it this year.
I mean, I think you would have a better chance earlier in the year than championship game. My personal opinion. Just telling you my thoughts.
What? What does that mean?
Championship game is kind of important, Anthony. Not that all plays throughout the entire season aren't important.
You don't believe in me?
No, I do believe in you. Just don't think that calling a play in the championship game is ever going to happen.
Well, they got to make it first.
This is unbelievable.
Maybe they make it if that certain play is called.
Maybe.
Yeah. Just food for thought.
Thank you, Marsh.
I believe in you, Anthony.
It doesn't sound like it.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Marsh.
That you feel that way.
Oh, wow.
Question number 6.
Wow.
From the 314, Mr. Davis.
Yeah.
What current player reminds you most of how you played?
I like Kyle Juszczyk. I think, I didn't get I was more like Kyle Juszczyk in college when I got the ball thrown to me. I don't know why they stopped throwing it to me. Caught a lot of passes. I actually love his game. He's able to do a lot of things. He lines up in the slot. He does, obviously blocks really well. He does a fantastic job, in my opinion. So Kyle Juszczyk would be the one that I would say. If we're going, I go back to another 49er, William Floyd, who I really loved back in the 90s, early 2000s. Bar none's what they called him. Caught a lot of passes out of the backfield, did a lot of good things. But yeah, I love what Kyle Juszczyk does as a fullback, being able to make plays. I think he does a great job.
The Snake Pit Splashback Deuce asked if the Stalter notes will be back for the St. Louis City games. You guys want those notes?
Sure.
Stalter soccer notes?
Yeah, you want the Stalter soccer notes?
Oh, you giving those notes?
I was disappointed when they went away.
All right.
I really was.
Sure.
Let's bring those back.
Let's do it. Why not?
Let's bring those back.
Yes.
Yeah. Gotta have
over under on how many text messages we get after those notes.
Were they hating on your,
per
your
day?
take?
Yeah, that we're not taking it seriously.
What do they know?
8.5.
Okay. A
That's
day.
a lot.
Well, every time, yeah.
Every time I do it, yeah.
8.5. I think it's good. I obviously it'll fluctuate.
Sure. Yep.
But I'll start off 8.5.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. All right. We want your mic drops. We asked for these earlier today. What is it about Oli that frustrates you, you don't like, you want him fired? Like, why? Expound. Let us know. Leave us a mic drop. Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the 101 ESPN Dobstar and Auto Centers app. Completely free to use. We're curious here. We're not looking to take anybody down. We're just talking about, we want to hear from you. What don't you like about Oli? And did Oli Marmol's interview on TMA change your perception of him? We'll get into that conversation next on 101 ESPN. With over 700 new and used vehicles all in one location, you're going to love what Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum has going on right now throughout the month of February. In fact, they've got their Love at First Sight, Love at First Drive sales event, and it's going on throughout the month of February at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. They've got heavily discounted prices on every vehicle in stock. We're talking about new Nissans, discounted up to $10,000 off. They got sales prices starting under $23,000 on select models, 0 down and no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles. vehicles or no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans. That's available right now. Great low financing rates with terms of up to 84 months, too. And you might be thinking, well, you know what? I got credit issues. I'm stuck with the current loan. I won't be able to be approved. There's other dealerships that are going to overpromise and underdeliver when it comes to getting you financed for your vehicle. But Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they're confident that anyone that walks through the door can drive away in a brand new Nissan. 2025 Nissan models also come with a free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes, plus get that peace of mind coverage with the 30-day return promise. It's all available in Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan at autocentersnissan.com. .505, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Super Bowl champion Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Oli Marmol was on with TMA today, and he shared kind of a cool story between him and a disgruntled fan. Now, this was when the team was on the road, as you'll hear from the story. But I thought that this kind of made Oli likable / relatable. And I think others felt the same way. But if you missed it, here's one of the stories that he did share, and love to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Gosh, I wish I could remember what city. And this Cardinal fan is just letting it eat. He's calling me all types of names, like real names, enough to get my attention. I'll say, this guy really doesn't like me. So I have to know what he looks like at least. So I go out to the mound, talk to the pitcher, and I come back and I make eye contact with him. And this guy, at this point, hates me. He's yelling all the time.
Speaking of hating us, there's Izzy, who refuses to join the show.
Hey, he is. Calling me all types of names. I kind of look up at him, and he makes eye contact. He keeps yelling, and I make a mental note of what I'd like to do to him. I go make a pitch and change. He calls me all types of, you're the worst ever. This move's never going to work. You're an idiot. And I'm praying the whole time, please, God, let me let this work, you know.
Don't let him be right.
Yeah, and it works. We end up coming back. We win the game. The game's over. He's still yelling, and I turn to him, and I call him down to the dugout, and he looks over in a little bit of a panic. He's like me. I was like, yeah, you dumbass. Like, so he comes down, and I say, Oli, nice to meet you. And I shake his hand. He tries to back up, and I bring him in real tight. And I said, I want you to repeat everything you just said. And he said, no. I am so sorry. I thought we were going to lose. I was in a bad mood, and I was like, let's talk about it. Like, what don't you like? And I sat there for 10 minutes, 12 minutes with him and just kind of did a little bit of this. And at the end of it, you can tell there was a change in, wow, you're a normal dude who's making decisions, and sometimes they work, but there's a reason behind what you do, and it was good.
And then you punched him in the face.
No. So that happens from time. I've probably done that 3 or 4 times during the year. I like those conversations. Like,
all right. One, great job with the interview against the TMA. But 2, I do think it takes a person that is secure and curious to invite a fan down, not for a confrontation, or at least a confrontation that gets escalated, but one in which, CD, that Oli is curious. And that's what I came away today thinking. Mm-hmm. Some people came away thinking that he was arrogant. I didn't get that at all. But, for some people, they listen to it and they're like, man, this guy's arrogant. I didn't think that way. And this story, I think, is an illustration of him having a better understanding about other people's viewpoints. That's honestly what I took away from the story, because he could have very easily either ignored the guy, which would have been fine,
right,
or say something and escalate the problem. But he remained calm, cool, collected, and he was genuinely curious about what the guy didn't like about either the moves that he made that night or other moves that he's made in the past while watching his Cardinals. What other managers doing that? You don't have to do that, yeah. But I found him to be kind of relatable.
I think that story was a great story. First of all, he just explaining, like, the cool part about it is because we're on radio and YouTube, and we get people that chirp at us, but more times than not, they're not going to say that in person to your face. So he's kind of allowing this fan to vent. Now, come say it down here. Mm-hmm. Not that I want to fight you.
Let's have a conversation.
But let me hear your perspective of why you think that. And most times, there might be some alcohol involved, or there might be some just a certain thought process. Like, people tend to think that professional athletes, managers, coaches, like, they're not real people. They're not human. You're
dehumanized.
Yes, the things that are said to them don't get to them, or you don't hear them, because I've done a great job of ignoring it. Like, I can hear anything. That's probably why I never know what we're doing next segment, because I know how to block things out. It is a gift. It's a skill set that you learn to just ignore noise that is not talked directly to you.
Well, I'm teasing the next segment,
if you ain't talking directly to me, I'm
kind of talking to you.
You're talking to the fan. You're talking to our listeners, our wonderful listeners, so they can stay engaged during our wonderful commercial breaks.
But I can't engage you, so I might have to work on my teases.
Well, Anthony, I need to work on myself, not you. Let's both work. It's me.
Let's both.
It's not you.
No, it's me.
Hey, I just started listening right now. Why don't you like Oli Marmol, Anthony?
See? That's how I go.
Yeah, that's typically how it goes, yeah.
So,
what are you guys talking about?
I think he does a great job. I think that was a great story of him explaining, a certain situation.
Yeah.
And more times than not, it's just a misunderstanding, or people just want to be heard, honestly. Sometimes people want to be heard, and they go about it the wrong way. Now, fortunately for that fan, he was able to have a 10-minute conversation with the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, a moment he'll probably never forget. But, some people just have an opinion about you based on things that are not even close to being true.
So Gen X with a great comment from the Snake Pit. He says, it would suck if every day I had to answer questions about what I did my job. He's absolutely right. Brandon says, if someone doesn't like CD, I'll fight them myself.
Hey, appreciate it.
Splashback Deuce, never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and beat you up with experience. And that was a quote from Mark Twain. You know what I liked about what Oli did? I found, sometimes I feel this way doing this show, where somebody's critical and they take a personal shot, and I'm genuinely curious how they got there. Because typically it's not what I just said. There's something else that either I said before, that offended them, or ticked them off, or it's an opinion that I have that they don't like, and they just chose that moment to voice their displeasure. And I would love to have conversations sometimes. Be okay, what do you not like about the show, me, comment I made? Did I pick against your team once and now you hate me for life? Which I actually think happens more times than we realize. I picked against the Eagles. Now all Eagles fans that listen hate my guts. Yeah. Which I don't blame you. But I like that Oli did that. Hey, come on down.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk. But what is it? And then all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, I can see your viewpoint on that. It's having good communication, back and forth. It's what makes us human beings.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's all good. Like, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to argue with me either, which I think is ridiculous. Why do you want to argue all the time?
I never argue with you. Actually, you and I argue a lot, mostly about football.
Yeah,
it's probably why you don't want to do the gridiron guys with me anymore.
I don't. No, that's not Anthony.
No, that's not you. It's both of us.
You can't get here.
Terrible with it. All right, so we want to hear from your mic drops. We want to hear from you, your mic drops. We'll get into what you don't like about Oli, what your beef is. Maybe it's not personal. You don't like his manager style. You have more questions. Whatever it may be, we're going to get your mic drops next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
he messed up Tyler O'Neill because he didn't want to run fast around third base. He had the heat on O'Neill. He had the heat on Dylan Carlson. He had the heat on Nootbaar. He had the heat on anybody. He is not a player manager.
All right, that was from Randy.
Randy!
Who left us a mic drop. Appreciate it, Randy. Thank you. Randy isn't alone in that line of thinking. I will say that we have it on good authority that there were several veterans that asked Oli in spring training to hold everyone accountable when it comes to playing hard. Oli had a conversation with Tyler O'Neill in spring training about playing hard. And then the byproduct of those conversations that he had with the veterans and Tyler O'Neill in spring training that year, the byproduct is what we saw. So a lot of people are kind of taking that and just viewing it as, well, Oli threw everybody under the bus.
Yeah, as a professional athlete, playing hard should be the last thing a coach has to ask of you.
Our guy, Gino...
Toretta?
No.
Geno Smith?
No.
UConn Wilson?
UConn basketball coach.
Gino Auriemma.
Yeah.
Good job, Marshy.
He preaches that.
Yeah.
He goes, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here if I had a coach effort. He goes, that's just the bare minimum.
That's the standard. So I don't think he threw Tyler O'Neill under the bus. If we all have eyes, and I've seen Tyler O'Neill run hard, that wasn't as fast as he could run. Now, why wasn't he running? That's something that Tyler O'Neill has to answer. I don't think he
want to get hurt.
I don't think he did anything to Dylan Carlson. Dylan Carlson didn't perform to the level that they needed him to perform at. Who was the other one he said? There's one more.
Newt.
Newt runs into walls and gets hurt.
Yeah, I don't.
He plays hard. Now, Newt plays his butt off. He just finds injuries left and right.
Carlson was banged up a lot, too.
Yeah. Which one of them ran into Jordan Walker? Was that?
That was Dylan Carlson.
Yeah. There you go. Don't run into brick walls.
Open up the door for Victor Scott to play center.
Don't run into walls.
Okay, let's hear from Lisa next.
Hey, guys. So it's not about hating on Oli. I do want him to go away, but here's why. Our team can never spend the most. We all understand that. But because we can't spend the most, shouldn't our front office and our dugout leadership be made up of people that are proven winners, lots of things to draw from, experience? It's going into his fourth season, not first, not second, not third, fourth. What is his team's culture? I'll wait, because no one ever answers that. You're damn right I want somebody stronger. You're damn right I want Skip Schumacher. He's a winner. He's won at the highest level, and he knows how to win. This isn't personal with Oli. You're just not good enough. We need somebody stronger. We need somebody with experience. We need a winner. Okay, guys. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, Lisa. This is the way that Lisa talks where, like, if she was my mother,
you do whatever you were supposed to do?
I'd just be like,
yes, ma'am.
Damn, Mom, you bring up great points. I don't know what to say.
Okay, so she said we don't have money to spend. So if we're not spending money on players, you're probably not spending money on managers that are going to cost more. Is that a fair statement?
I think it's fair, yeah.
Okay. Skip Schumacher's, what do you think Oli's record is, his winning percentage is as a manager? What would you say?
520. 510.
What would you say, Marshy?
I would say...
it's got to be
a
below
little math
500.
here. I would go with 502.
Okay. What would you say Skip Schumacher's is?
His is 494.
I'll say 435.
451 for Skip, 508 for Oli. Which means technically Oli wins more than Skip. Now, this is not a knock against Lisa, but the manager that you want didn't have a particularly great...
Skip was on the man. He was with them. He was with Oli in that first year, Carey.
Nobody can win in Miami.
Skip won in his first year in Miami.
Couldn't win in Miami.
He won 2 championships.
Not 3 or 4, though.
Not 3 or 4.
5, not 6, not 7.
Skip had a pretty good year his first year. He stunk last year. He was 383 last year as the manager of the old Marlins.
Yeah.
I mean, Yes, you got to have talent around you. Yes, you got to have. But
sounds like it comes from the people that create the team.
There you go. Exactly.
Say that.
Jason from the Snake Pit. Cardinals fans. These players need leadership. Also Cardinals fans. Ollie needs to kiss the players' butts and hold their hands.
You can never please everyone.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
I do want to highlight something that Lisa said that I completely agree with in terms of like setting the culture. There is a bit of a, okay, what how are we going to win? How are we going to win? Like
what's our philosophy?
Yeah, what have we developed any sort of identity under Ollie? Like I like Ollie. He's fine. He's the epitome of fine. I'm good with him, right? But I will say I don't know what the identity is.
It's very true.
So to Lisa's point about the culture, and I'm going to take culture and just spin it into identity, I don't know what the identity is. How are you going to win games next year? You a good pitching staff? Really?
Is that his fault?
Fundamentals? Defense? Your power hitting team? No, it's not. It's not completely his fault. But he has not taken this collection and saying, you know what, this is how we're going to win games.
Yeah,
we're going to avoid losing games this way. We're going to win games this way.
I think he definitely deserves blame for certain things. I just don't know if he deserves blame for like everything that people bring up.
Sure.
Like I definitely think there is fair criticism for Oli Marmol.
Yeah.
Based on what we've seen in the past few years. But when you start throwing other things out there, to me, it like sort of discredits the actual point you're trying to make with the fair criticism, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Splashback Dude says, how do you develop an identity when you have 25 guys on the shelf throughout the year? You know, I'm not just saying this from an Ollie standpoint. I think this is an organizational problem. I think you need to have an organizational philosophy. What is your identity as an organization? I think they've developed that in the past. I don't know what it is now. It is a fair comment that Splashback Deuce makes in terms of the guys being banged up and things like that. But even if everybody were healthy, let's just say everybody's healthy. What's the identity? How are you going to win? How is this year's team going to win?
It's a very good question, Anthony.
Okay. All right. That's my point.
Are
you a power team?
What is the no, you can't
do
can
you
only
run well?
What do you do?
Pitching?
Well,
defense?
All of that goes back to what Marshy
roster
just said.
Construction in the front office.
You have to have a certain style of player, a group of those players, in order to have an identity as that being who you are and what you do.
I agree.
If you got a few guys that can hit home runs, a few guys that are fast, a few guys that can play really good defense, you got to figure out a way every single night. It's not going to be, this is our way, this is how we win games, because you don't have that style of player throughout the entire roster.
Which leads to you and I being frustrated. One thing you and I completely agree with is what with the Cardinals? What does what you just said, what does that lead to?
Front office.
Nope.
What?
Yeah, it does, but them not having a set lineup.
Well, yeah, you know how and that is part of it as well.
It's almost like they take the puzzle every day, shake up the pieces, dump it out, and like, let's construct this again.
Which is on Oliver Marmol, because he said that. He's the one that said he makes the lineup. So if you want to critique him for anything, if he's shaking up the lineup every single day and seeing what sticks and it ain't working, then that's your fault. And maybe you should have a stagnant lineup and say, this is where you're going to play. I was watching The Pivot with James Harrison the other day, my former teammate. And he was talking about when he got later in his career, they had a couple of guys, Bud Dupree and TJ Watt were there. And he was saying all week long he practiced and was expecting to play and got to the stadium and there was no uniform in the locker. Anthony, let me tell you, when you get there and you ain't got no uniform, guess what you're not doing today?
You ain't playing.
You ain't playing. And the level of frustration. So, and I've said this before, when you don't know as a player what you're doing, I don't know if I'm starting today. I don't know if I'm starting at second base. Am I starting in left field? Am I going to be the center fielder? Am I behind the plate? Am I DH? And am I watching? What am I doing? When you have that as a player, it is the level of frustration, I cannot explain it to you. There is you are so pissed off. Like, dude, I don't care what the role is. Give me a damn job. Let me be the best at it, and then I can go about my day.
Yeah.
So if you want to critique him about something, critique him about that. And I'm okay with that. I would love to see that be the change that happens this year.
We will carry this over here in a sec. But Splashback Deuce responding, he goes, "Oh, that identity. 6 hole hitters and 6 players playing out of position." That's correct. Yep. MD 2020, how many games is a good manager worth? I think over the course of the season, the impact is felt. But in terms of a like a game-by-game situation, all those decisions, I would say about 2.
2?
Yeah. I don't think I think a manager what
are you saying, Anthony?
I think
he bats in the game.
I think the best managers in the world, you only see it in the postseason.
Well, you got to get there first.
Absolutely. It's kind of my point on Major League Baseball managers overall.
Too many games.
Yeah. All right. We'll continue these. We've got mic drops from Droid, Daniel, Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, tune in.
And we're getting more mic drops coming in, too.
Well, we better play those next, Marsh, before you get mad at us. That's not 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Alex Bregman is a Boston Red Sox. What does that mean for Nolan Arenado and your St. Louis Cardinals? We discussed that earlier today. If you missed that conversation or anything from today's show, including our interview with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. After the show, we'll have the pregame show for the Four Nations Face-Off. United States going up against Finland. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
All right, let's get to your other mic drops here. We got one from Droid on his overall thoughts. We asked, what is it about Oli Marmol you don't necessarily care for, or things that you complain about? Here's Droid.
Guys, I've always been a hater of Oli.
Oh,
but
geez, Troy.
This morning, when I've heard him talking on TMA, like, he actually seems like he has that human element. Like, there's actually that real relationship that actually felt like connecting to the people, to the St. Louis people. Like, you can actually tell he's actually a blue-collar guy. He's made his way up through our systems, and he knows what the goals are from the DeWitts better than almost anybody else. He's been with the Cardinals for almost a decade. It's just down in the minor leagues and as a bench coach, assistant coach, whatever it may be. I honestly, I've gained a lot of respect for Oli just reading the YouTube chat, you know, and laughing at, you know, being called cute as a button and these small little things. Yeah, that might not impact what happens on the field, but the guys in the locker room are going to be able to, like, relate to him. They want to play for him. He said he wants his players to get that contract. He wants the players to do everything they can to be better. There's only so much a manager can do. And he says he's open to the criticism from the media of decisions he makes. I really liked this interview today. TMA did a phenomenal job on it. And Oli gained so much respect for me, and I think a lot of other St. Louisans are going to agree.
Yeah, great stuff, Droid. I like how he prefaced everything by saying I've never been really an Oli guy. But listening to the interview, he did come away thinking, yeah, this is somebody that is more relatable and somebody that is, you know, if you can present something and somebody takes a step back and says, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, you know, I see the position he's in. Mm-hmm. He's got to make decisions, and sometimes those decisions don't work out. Doesn't mean the guy can't do his job. It just means that decision didn't work out. But I like, again, how Droid just said flat out, yeah, never been a big Oli backer, but he kept an open mind throughout it. Let's hear from Daniel next. And Droid is right. The Team A guys did a tremendous job. Here's Daniel.
So based on what Oli has said to us, and just in that clip that you guys played, is that he's not being influenced by the front office. They're not coming down there and telling him what to do in terms of game management and things like that. And so my frustration lies with the playing time or lack thereof for some of these younger guys, and just the weirdness that has come with Jordan Walker last season. You know, Mason Wynn did his thing, and I'm excited to see him play more this year. But I think they really mishandled Jordan Walker, and from what Oli's saying, that's on him. And he's supposed to be able to relate to these younger players, but if we're not going to do that, then I'm not really sure, you know, where else are we supposed to put the blame for that, and what else is are we supposed to expect to happen differently this season when there's even more younger players coming up? And he's is he going to just keep looking for those veterans again? Like that's one of my biggest frustrations with Oli. Otherwise, honestly, I think he's a solid manager, and I'm hopeful that this year, we can maybe fight for a wild card spot at the end of the season. Hell no to the division title, but wild card maybe. Thanks.
Daniel, thanks for your mic drop. You could blame Jordan Walker, too. I mean, Jordan Walker continues to swing at sliders that are 4 feet off the plate. I mean, they're great.
I do think he's talking about that one stretch, though, when you brought in Jordan Walker, and it seemed like there was a little miscommunication with the front office and Oli Marmol. And it was towards the time when, and Carey always references this, when like Hunter Green was pitching for Cincinnati and Jordan Walker had really good numbers against him, but for some reason he wasn't in the lineup.
Right.
I think it's more so like that period of time with Jordan Walker, because we even talked about it. That was a very confusing time. And we were wondering, like, what is going on right now? Why is he not playing?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he's referencing.
Yeah. I want to go back to the snake pit, because I've mentioned this. Ryan, who has not been happy today, Ryan said relatable, and he's got the emoji where the guy holds his face. He said, as long as I can take people yelling and heckling me, that makes me a good manager. Let's keep in mind that the conversation isn't whether or not Oli is a good manager. The conversation is, after you heard his interview today, did he kind of change your mind? And now we're opening up to what are the things you don't like. Ryan, listen, I'm not saying that he's a great manager because he's relatable. What I'm saying is we've got people texting in, and somebody like Droid that said, I did not like this guy beforehand. I realize now he's a human being. That's what I mean by relatable. You're jumping to conclusions about like us just having a more open conversation about Oli Marmol based on this interview. And you're jumping to, well, that doesn't make him a good manager. He's not telling me what I want to hear. Okay, Ryan, I get it. I'm not going to convince you. I don't even know if he's a good manager. And I've agreed with a lot of things that you've said today, including how he's going to make the team better. He's got to answer those things eventually. Based on this interview, I'm telling you, I think he changed some people's minds. That's all.
And some people he didn't. And that's fine, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have your opinion.
You have your opinion.
Not a problem.
Ting Man 1 says, yep, Oli's relatable to me. I'm a crap manager, too. Well, Ting Man, what are you doing? What are you doing wrong? Have you looked in the mirror? Have you asked those questions? Are you curious? Why am I not a good manager?
It happens.
It happens.
The other day, I kept in Fergie Jenkins too long.
It's a terrible move. You know, you got to, every time, third time through the lineup, you got to get him out of there.
He almost threw a no-hitter, though, the game before. So I veteran, kept him in.
Yeah.
Gave up 2 runs, lost the game. It happens.
And you'll live with that.
Looking back, you probably wish you didn't do that.
I wish I didn't do it, but it is what it is. I have to stick with my guns.
You gotta look, you'll get better. I know you will.
Thanks.
Let's hear from Lewis.
Hey guys, it's Lou.
What's up, Lou?
I don't really hate or like Oli. I'm kind of indifferent in terms of his managerial skills and all that. He's okay. The one thing that really irks me though is when he kind of gets this arrogant, smart aleck, I'm the greatest, I'm smarter than anybody in this room kind of attitude. And you notice a lot in post-game press conferences. I remember last year, I don't know who we were playing, but it was a home series, and he was getting interviewed by one of the local guys, and they were addressing some issues that fans were frustrated, they were voicing, and they were asking him about that, and I remember he just gave the most smart aleck answer and was just basically like, oh, well, these people just don't know anything, blah, blah. And it just really irked me, come on, man. Cardinal fans have this expectation, and you're not meeting it. And at a certain point, you kind of have to fall on your sword a little bit. And he just seems to always, especially in the post-game interviews, he just tends to take this, smart aleck, I'm better than you sort of stance, and it just really irks me. But other than that, I don't really have any ill will towards the guy. So, yeah, have a great rest of your show, guys.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you, Lou.
Carey?
I think I think it was Derek Gould. If I'm not Derek Gould.
Yeah, we had a couple segments on that.
I think it was Derek Gould that he had that kind of back and forth.
And
with.
if I remember correctly, we were very critical of Oli.
Yeah. And so it's kind of hard for people to, like, you're not, and I'm not making an excuse because I'm sure if Oli were able to do it again, he understands the job and understands that these are the questions, and every single day you got to answer questions about why you did something or why you didn't do something.
Right.
If that's your job, and it comes with the job. I'm not excusing anything because you get paid well.
Yep.
You're the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, whether you're a player for the St. Louis Cardinals, that's part of your job. But everybody is human. And so you do, at times, somebody says something, what the hell are you talking? Like, it's a natural response. So I think, but you're not allowed to have those moments. So I think it's important to realize, like, it is a tough job. And that's one of the things that he talked about on the show as well. He talked about his first day managing. Joe Torre came up to him and basically was like, hey, it's a hard job. Nobody really understands how hard it is.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Right.
And he had an hour's conversation with Tony La Russa, and to kind of hear from those guys that have sat in that position how difficult of a job it is, it kind of relieves you, especially as a younger manager. You're like, oh, crap, you went through that too? Hell yeah, I did. Like, this is part of the learning experience, the learning curve, and eventually those things unlock you as a manager, as a player, to be able to say, oh, the hell with it. Everybody goes through it. I'm not by myself in this. And so I think eventually you become a better person and a better manager because of it.
Yeah.
And Anthony, you just illustrated that, this particular conversation is, basically it revolves around this interview that happened.
Correct.
And I think for me, I felt very similar to how a lot of our listeners feel. Like when I would listen to some of the post-game press conferences, I'm like, man, like I don't know if I really like the way that this is coming across. I don't really necessarily like that move that was made. Whatever you want to, call it. But I think this interview sort of changed my perception and now how the way that I will view this season when I go and listen to the post-game press conferences. Now that I know, like, hey, there's a whole nother side of this guy. Maybe he's just ticked off because one of his guys struck out 3 times and didn't execute the game plan that he set forth. So yeah, I'd probably be a little ticked off too. Like, I'll keep that in mind. And also, like, for me, I want to root for Oli Marmol to succeed rather than, well, like, man, Albert Pujols might be available here in a couple of years. Like, I want the team to succeed. And I think that starts with him.
Yeah.
It's just kind of changed my perception of how I view Oli Marmol.
Let's play one more. Let's hear from John.
Got no problem with Oli. Met him at Smoothie King in Chesterfield once for about 12 seconds. So we're pretty much best friends. Always felt like he was a manager that the Cardinals put in place until someone else came along and was better, then they dump him. Question his decisions. Some of those decisions work out. Some of them don't. So when his decisions work out, it's because he's lucky. When they don't work out and I questioned him, it's because I'm smarter than him. All seriousness, I thought this morning's interview was awesome. Really showed Oli's personality and who he is as a person, how he is as a leader. Gained a little bit of more respect for him, listened to how he answered some of those tough questions. Obviously, I'm a Cardinals fan, so I wish him nothing but the best. I want to see him succeed because that means the Cardinals succeed. Appreciate you guys in the afternoon. Love listening. Can't wait for the next episode of the Gridiron Guys. See ya!
John, I'm so glad we wrapped up the show with you. That was hilarious. Yeah, pretty much best friends. Let's be honest. Yeah. Can we be real for a second here? Now that we're gonna put a bow on this thing. If the Cardinals were winning, Oli would be well liked, straightforward, no nonsense. As opposed to being cocky and arrogant and whatever. If the Cardinals were winning, all of the decisions that he made would be trusted, as opposed to the decisions that didn't be made that or that went wrong, I should say, that were highlighted and criticized. If the Cardinals were winning, everybody would like the guy. The Cardinals aren't winning, so it doesn't really matter who's in place.
Agreed.
It could be whatever your favorite manager is, he could be in place right now. If the Cardinals were not winning, you'd probably say, game's passed them by, get them out. It's about winning and losing, period. So Just win, baby. I think should be the Cardinals' new motto, is what I'm saying.
I think that's taken.
No, it's a brand new one. Just win, baby. Marsh, don't you dare give me the break sign. Don't you dare.
Just do it.
Don't you dare.
That's better.
I think some would say you should.
Let's wrap up the show next.
Chew it and do it.
What ESPN. Hey, Missouri, good news. Underdog Fantasy is available in our state, which means you can line up your favorite picks, go higher or lower on certain stats, and you can win a bunch of money. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and again, you can play in your state, and if you want to win 1,000 times your money, you can do so with Underdog Fantasy. From fast breaks to buzzer beaters to block parties, nothing as exciting as basketball, and with Underdog, you can bring that excitement to whenever you watch. You can play using their app. It's super easy to use. I was checking out, they got college basketball players. You can go higher or lower on the stats. We got a lot of college basketball fans here. NBA, once the NHL season comes back, you can actually combine different sports too. You could do a pick from an NBA game tonight and then do a pick for tomorrow's college basketball games. They got MMA, they got everything at Underdog. So if you're somebody that's always like, oh, I knew that player was going to go off. Well, great. Put your money where your mouth is. Underdog Fantasy is perfect for you. Download the app, sign up now using my promo code Anthony to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with, again, my promo code Anthony. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast at the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app or your 101ESPN.com website. All the podcasts brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. All right, gentlemen, what did we learn today? CD, what'd you learn?
I learned that Canada doesn't really like Jordan Binnington. I think it's heartbreaking.
Yep.
It's sad.
Yeah. I learned that CD doesn't really like Marsh. A lot of thoughts about J.J. McCarthy and his Minnesota Vikings.
The Vikings
tore him down.
I love Marsh.
For a full segment. And then turn around and said that I would never be a great offensive coordinator unless it was early in the season or something.
I learned that you guys hear what you want to hear.
Marsh, what did you learn?
I learned that people just don't like Oli Marmol.
Yeah.
Now, there's some people that do, but there's just a lot that don't, and that's okay, I guess. It's okay.
It's okay.
It is what it is.
Marsh?
Yes.
What do we got?
Yep, 3 stars of the day. Our third star of the day goes out to Robbie's Evil Laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
very scary.
Sick, huh?
Yeah.
Very
Not a good guy. He beat Marshy.
Yeah, like a drum.
Second star of the day goes out to blow dryers.
Yeah, blow dryers.
Yeah, they help you make your hair look cool.
Say something else. Okay.
What? Yeah, we
Number
talked.
1 star.
First star goes out to puppies.
Yeah, 142 of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
142 of them to be exact. Hey, don't forget, we got United States versus Finland pregame starting in less than 5 minutes. The Four Nations tournament. Hopefully USA will get off to a great start, just like Jordan Binnington in Canada did, and we won't hate on our players, that's for sure. For Andrew Marsh, for Kerry Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. We will see you.